I'm not your guardian. I can't see through your skin.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're live, fellas.
Hey, buddy.
Yes.
Hey, guys, thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here.
Can I get some of that love tap?
Hawaiian shirt day.
Yes.
Look at that. We're all dressed like Kirst Dunn.
Dude.
First step getting rich. Buy a Hawaiian shirt.
shirts.
But Noah took it to the next level with the hat, so.
Yeah, he's dressed for Coachella today.
I'm waiting. 2022. It's coming back.
So this is my special shirt. So this is actually half towel, half Hawaiian shirt. I got this on Venice Beach. And yeah, dude, it was some vendor. And I'm like, wait, you mean towel and a shirt in one? Like,
That's so California.
It's a good idea, though.
It's like a short sleeve Hawaiian shirt,
Yeah.
but also warm.
yeah, they were crushing it. They were selling out. Oh man, should we
Yes.
pop the whiskey?
That'd be nice.
All right. Well,
yes.
hello everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I know it's the the Friday before Thanksgiving, so I know a lot of people are doing family stuff, but I was like, hey, let's just pop a bottle of some nice Japanese whiskey, share some wisdom, and have some fun.
Ooh, Japanese whiskey.
I don't know anything about Japanese whiskey. Do you guys?
It'll bomb your taste buds. Oh, Pearl
Hey.
Harbor reference.
And then Noah, what did you bring?
I brought, so in Austin, this is actually in Waco, Texas, up near Baylor. This whiskey a few years ago won like the world whiskey competition. And so we were like really obsessed with collecting these bottles. They ended up kicking the founder out, which is a whole wild story, but I had
Yeah.
a few of the original bottles left I wanted to bring in. So this is an original single malt, and then this one tastes like fire. This is a fire taste.
Is it like
not like
Fireball?
Not Fireball. No, I wish.
It's like better.
no, it's just like campfire.
Oh, okay. A little smoky.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, that smells great.
Do you think they just messed up the whiskey and we're like, we'll just make it say campfire as a
Probably.
marketing thing? Yeah. You and Chad were going crazy trying to find
Yeah,
these
we
bottles
collected
for a while.
lot of this.
I love it. So, okay, so this is Akashi. Have you guys heard of Akashi?
No. It's the bomb. I don't know.
Hey. Yeah, so single malt whiskey aged 3 years in a sake cask.
Wow.
Whatever that means. The guy was telling me it was really good, so give this a shot.
I was talking to some people today. I was like, everyone now, I don't know if it's for everyone. I feel like everyone loves Japan. Like, they make awesome stuff. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I just love, and
What's
everyone's
not
like,
to love?
Yeah, everyone likes them.
Have you guys ever been to Tokyo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you
there
guys go to the robot restaurant?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. You know, I know it's like probably the most touristy thing to do, but it's fucking incredible.
It's like what an American thinks stereotypically Japan is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah. They pander, and it works.
And if you go to a 7-Eleven, drink one of those little balls of sake they have first before going in. You cannot watch that sober.
Yeah.
The
Cheers,
only thing
folks.
I would comment, you say tourist as it's bad. I'm like, the tourist stuff is for the tourists. It's for tours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like when Americans are a white folk, we go like, I don't do the tourist stuff. What's the non-tourist stuff? I'm like, you mean the non-cool stuff?
Yeah. Like the fun stuff that's
everything
made
else.
for us. Yeah. So, okay. So give me your first impressions.
Oh, it's well balanced.
Robust.
I say well balanced about every alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got it's really balanced. You know, the
Round
front-
notes.
In the
Yeah.
front, did you taste in the back?
Yeah, can you be our bullshit like sommelier?
Yeah, the
Say
grains.
some pretentious stuff so we can...
The
Like,
notes
oh, the-
here, notes.
The
the notes are great.
Oh my gosh. I'm picking up some floral.
Picking up,
A little bit of
oh.
campfire.
Do you taste those tannins?
Oh, the tannins.
The tannins are so many.
It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Hey, so I didn't tell you guys this, but
God.
before we started the show, I tweeted,
You bought us each Bitcoin?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be great.
Honestly, that would probably be an awesome gift.
what? Bought you guys each a Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Almost that awesome, but not quite. We're really, really close to 19K. And so I just tweeted this out. It's pretty stupid, but you know, whatever. If
No
Bitcoin,
way.
yeah, if it breaks while we're sitting here drinking and sharing wisdom, yeah, dude. Obviously, I can't get the tattoo now, but like we'll have to do another
Dude,
live
I
stream.
got one of these pens. I can
Yeah.
do it.
We can do a temporary one tonight.
Okay, that sounds good.
Hold on, but how
should
long can
I,
we stay
should
on
I
the
go
show?
like ballsy and put it on my forearm? Or?
You're really going to do it?
Oh yeah. So when Bitcoin, it was like 2016, and there was a timeline. I was like, if we break 1,000 by the end of the year, like I'll get a Bitcoin tattoo, and it was like 1 hour late. So I probably should have got it, but
dude.
I was like, all right, well, it didn't happen in the time frame I said. So
Well, if Bitcoin ever drops or becomes nothing, you can just like fill it in and call it a D. So like done.
yeah,
Yeah,
Or like a
like,
dollar
out.
sign. You can make
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It's not that big of a deal.
but that's not going to happen. So let's see.
Hold on,
Well,
unless we stay on the show for 2 days.
maybe we should.
Ooh, we can filibuster him.
I wanted to read a dictionary.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, look, guys, thanks for being here.
for having us.
You know, this is the first, I guess, crypto focused conversation that we're going to have for this segment. Last, 2 weeks ago, we had Carter Thomas, who's another crypto dude from Austin, or now in Austin. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about adventures in business and life, because you both are super adventurous, fun dudes. And yeah, just wanted to break that down.
What do crypto people talk about? The only thing you guys ever talk about is when'd you buy it?
Yeah.
That's like the only thing you guys have ever said to each other. Like, what are the episodes about?
Yeah. Well,
Like, oh, did you hear about XRP? Did you hear about that new one?
yeah, it's a lot of shilling. It's a lot of bullshit.
That's about right.
But
Every crypto conversation right there.
Yeah, but right now there's a lot of interesting stuff happening with, like, you know, governments trying to get into the digital currency game, and like things are getting real. You know, for the past 10 years, it's been a bunch of nerds and retards like us just, you know, acting stupid. And now it's institutions, it's governments, it's corporates, it's like real serious money coming in. So
It's like we're watching the development of the internet. I mean, we're old enough to remember like 1999, the internet starting to become a thing, the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
People were browsing the cyber wave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool to watch it, and then you could actually be part of it, which is kind of neat. You couldn't invest in an SFTP protocol. You couldn't invest in HTTPS. So you couldn't invest in like RJ45 technology. But now with like these crypto things, you can actually hold a token and possibly profit off it. It's really cool to watch it happen.
It's opening up a ton of opportunity, and obviously, you know, it's super profitable, but it comes with a lot of bullshit, and I embrace the bullshit, and we just have fun doing this kind of stuff. So
It's easy to embrace bullshit when you're rich.
yeah, that's true.
When you hold a lot of crypto, you can embrace a lot of things.
That's true. That's true. It makes it easier. But honestly, for me, it's more fun hearing from the guys and ladies that are in our community that are like, yo, now I'm rich. Like, that's why I do all this. Like, I wouldn't be public if it weren't for that, you know?
It's awesome.
It'd just be, yeah.
Do you know anyone that's gone poor from Bitcoin?
Oh, dude, you should see the emails and like the messages I get from people that are like, I bought it 19,000 in 2017, and then I sold at 3,000 during the crash. Like, that's my whole shtick, is like, everybody knows buy low, sell high, but everybody does the exact opposite.
You know what? I had to speak at a student conference recently, and one of my pieces of advice for all the college students was go through a day trading phase, because I did that in college. I had like 1,000 extra bucks I was able to like put in the stock market, and I would always do this Yahoo stock simulator thing where you could trade like 1 million fake dollars. And well, when it's fake, you get real ballsy with it. But then when it's your own 400 bucks, you start freaking out if it goes to 500, or flipping out if it goes to 300.
Yeah.
So you get over that phase early in life, where I feel like a lot of people don't go through that phase, and then when they actually earn a good income, they make really dumb mistakes for a portfolio.
Dude, it's true. I always tell my friends, like, if you want to find out who you really are, trade the markets, because you can't hide from all your emotions, and fear, greed, all that shit just comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business and adventures.
Okay, so let's do this. First, I gotta just say something. Okay, so we're phone bros, right?
Oh,
we
yeah.
all got the same phone.
And the same color.
Yeah. Except there's a key distinction here. You guys are either psychopaths or I'm a man-child, because I wear a case and you guys are over there with no protection.
That's how you
I
do it.
already fucking dropped this and broke off the corner.
Well, maybe you should have more confidence in yourself.
I mean, I have confidence. I'm just a bumbling fool. Like,
no, you're married.
yes.
We're single. I think you have a condom. I think
You have a dog? You have a dog?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
responsible,
People
man.
with kids, I understand the cases. but
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the
I just
design of a
drop
phone.
stuff.
It's so beautiful. They spend like bazillions of dollars trying to make this beautiful phone, and I hate just like wrapping it up with a case.
It's true. It's like they obsess over every little micro millimeter, and then it's like, yeah, let's just slap some plastic on top. I get it, but my phone would be destroyed in a month if I didn't have one on
Yeah,
it.
you
just
have a
wanted
pretty
to-
slim case. I actually didn't even notice.
Yeah,
you
this
have
is
one.
the new.
Is that the actual Apple one?
Yeah, that's the new Apple one, which is the best one that.
I didn't even notice.
It was
you had
actually pretty thin.
It
Like,
looks
I
pretty
used
good.
Bipeel. Bipeel's another good company, pretty affordable.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad. I don't like how it makes it bulkier. Like, I actually want to have this one and the mini, just to
Yeah.
have like a smaller phone to use day to day.
Oh, that would actually be kind of a good idea. I have like 4 or 5 different phones, but this is kind of the main driver just for fun stuff.
What are you, like a drug dealer? You have so many
I'm a
phones.
crypto guy.
Even worse.
Yeah. Why do you need so many phones?
Security, storage, like, yeah, just weird different things.
Who is Chris Dunn?
Yeah. Well, let me flip that back on
Yeah,
you
ask
because
us
everybody
questions.
watching knows who I am.
Yeah, man.
Who is Noah and who is Neville?
All right, so why don't we answer for each other?
Yes, dude. Okay, I was trying to think about how to do intros for you guys because you guys have each given the same intro like several times, and everybody wants to know the story of like you being number 30 at Facebook. I want you guys to give like a perspective on yourselves that isn't common. So yeah, do the opposite stuff.
I'll do compliments. I think Neville is one of the most talented writers online. And it's been impressive individually for him to, one, help build AppSumo, which is now a 8-figure business from his writing. I think that's one of the things that distinguished our company.
Nice, dude.
And as well, it's been really impressive for him to go out. I think it's hard to go on your own, right? It's really hard. And so we kicked him out of AppSumo. And on his own, he's built a very successful company teaching people how to build businesses through better writing.
Yeah.
So that, and then I think he's, always a very adventurous person, always positive. Like when I'm in a good mood, I think when I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, and I think of Neville, he's like, I'm happy. I'm like, shut up, Neville.
I agree. I don't think I've ever seen you pissed off or down or blue. Like you're always just a positive dude.
I do. Around people, I'm not that like. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm not that sad for that long usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I ever get blue, it's usually not for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's good in life for the people that are curious out there. I think one of the things you can learn from Neville, so check him out on YouTube, Copywriting Course or copywritingcourse.com, 2 C's.
Yeah.
I think just how you learn life is really interesting. Like he watches a lot of YouTube. I think before it was popular to like learn from YouTube. So there's a lot of fun things to go watch about Neville.
Yeah.
And then Noah?
And well, before we jump, you have a death day. Let's talk about the death day.
85 years old, November 17th, 2067. You're invited to the death party.
Okay.
He's the one that's going to kill me.
Oh, thank God.
Or he's going to push me. So the way I'm going to kill myself is that I'm going to jump out of a plane without a parachute into an active volcano.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be there filming if I'm probably going to die before that. But.
Definitely. We're going to definitely stream it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Probably be in like 3D though. They'll have like Oculus.
What if only
Yeah.
one person watches? I'll be like, oh. Last thought. Like, come on, at least 5 streamers. Come on.
Yeah. If there's one thing I've learned about YouTube, vanity metrics like views and subs don't fucking matter at all.
I still like the vanity.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
we can debate that, but yeah.
Wait, I have to intro Noah, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Noah Kagan, one of my best friends in the world. I never say best friend because I don't like that word. I like to say
One of?
friend,
Like top
one of
10.
best
Top
friend
10.
in the world. Yeah. One of my best friends in the world. Very impressive character. Always up to something. I'm a very calm, pretty happy with life person.
Yeah.
So I need to attach myself to neurotic people such as Noah, who are Jewish, who have to constantly be doing stuff which like propels you both forward.
Yeah.
And so Noah is one of those people. I met him in 2003 through our blogs. He had okdork.com. I had nevblog.com. And he came to Austin a long time ago. And he's moved back and forth a couple times between California and Austin since then. And I met him, and he's always been up to something. Noah's always up to something. You started probably like 20-something businesses.
Yeah. Have
a whole like long list of like employee number 30 at Facebook, working with Mark Zuckerberg, all sorts of crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
You used to throw. I met you a couple times in Silicon Valley, going to the conferences you threw, and it's crazy because you were like a nobody back then. But since you were the one hosting the conference, everyone knew you. Like Guy Kawasaki was like, "Oh, Noah Kagan," all that kind of stuff. So when you moved to Austin, I thought he did something really interesting. He would throw all these no networking parties, and you would say free booze. You go to a really shit bar on the east side and pay for everyone's beer on a Tuesday
During happy hour.
Yeah, and so it was $1 Lone Star beers. And it would be like $150 or something like that, and you kind of establish yourself as like a person in Austin like that.
That's amazing.
And it's grown
What
ever
year was
since.
that?
2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And so we got to do the story. Why did Zuck fire you?
What's funny? Someone asked me a few days ago, like, do you think he made the right choice? And they were expecting me to say no.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, he did a great call. I was like, yeah, I would have fired my ass too.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's been a while, right? And, it's definitely an interesting experience that I feel very blessed to be a part of. So I think the question, though, is for the audience, like, what do they benefit from? So for me, one, I was just in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So, like, geographically, are you in Chris's group? Are you listening to Neville's content? Are you around the other people where those opportunities are going to happen? Right? Because I only found crypto because a lot of guys in my office were buying it, and then I needed to do stuff, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, but I was around it. In terms of why I got fired and it didn't work out, I don't think I think as we get older, I'm almost 40, is finally realizing what you're actually great at and being okay with it, accepting it.
Yeah.
I'm not great at managing a lot of people. I don't want to be in a lot of meetings, but I am great at starting things, as Neville was talking about. And at Facebook, like, I always wanted my own show. So I was putting on these conferences. I was blogging about Facebook. And
What was your first role?
product manager.
Okay.
So we basically built Facebook mobile, Facebook ads, Facebook's like the updates were like, which is now the main thing on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I think at the point when I started, it was very small. So there was like a bunch of random stuff to go do and build. And as it got larger, it was like, all right, we're going to have a product spec meeting. And then we're going to have to bring in all these stakeholders. I guess that's what you say when you're a large company, stakeholders. When you say that, your company's too big.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't a good thing for me. And I think different people are better at different times of businesses. And at the end of the day, it was Zuck's show. It wasn't mine. And so they let me go. I think the word they say that still stuck with me was I was a liability for the business, which it hurt my feelings.
Would you say it's accurate, like, great entrepreneurs make terrible employees?
I think those are the people you want to hire. Someone said this to me a while ago that I really liked. It's like, how many CEOs are there at Amazon? You think it's just it's not Bezos,
Right.
There's many CEOs at Amazon, but the thing is, how do you make it exciting for them to want to be at Amazon?
Right.
And so, like,
how do you retain them? Because
Well, you could do what Alphabet did and just spin them off into all the different companies so they
Yeah.
could all each have CEO roles.
right. I mean, that's what Branson did too with Virgin, right? It's like he's the guy, he's the face, but he's not running all the different massive
yeah.
markets. I mean, yeah.
So I think it's figuring out how do you make those people incentivized to have alignment between what they're trying to accomplish, because that's the person you want at your company. Like, we have this young guy named Sean, and he is just like super hungry, super talented, and so it's like he wants to run his own show one day. I'm like, well, why don't we figure out a way to make him like beneficial for him and for our company? So figure out giving him his own like P&L to run.
I think you said something interesting before that I copied, and you always asked. You said really, really, really good people won't stay with you forever. So you would say, like, give me 3 years of your time, and we'll both grow.
Just say that up front and like set the expectation.
Yeah,
and just
you
know.
just like, I remember that's how you would kind of lure some people that wanted to kind of run their own show. You're like, you can use my network, our money, blah blah blah, to build like your stuff, our stuff.
Yeah.
and then at the end, leave.
I mean, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Well, one thing I'm working on now is also how do you build up your bench? So if you look at sports teams, they have like their starting team and then they have a bench team.
Yeah.
And so a lot of us have our starters, but it's like, how do you build up the pipeline of bench? And so one of the things, we're just trying to figure out how to do more training or like recruiting. So we have these people like marketers or YouTube marketers and these things for later.
Yeah.
And so it's starting to recruit them now for when we want to hire them at a later point.
So how many employees do you have now, and how big do you want to get?
I don't know. I think there's probably around 70 at the company that work at Sumo Group.
Mm-hmm.
I look at more of the efficiency than necessarily how many people. I've always thought that's a bad measurement of a business.
Yeah.
A lot of companies are like, what's your profit or what's your revenue? I think, again, those are not necessarily helpful, right? Because we could have a lot of money and make no profit.
Yeah.
Or we could have a lot of employees and go out of business.
Sure.
And so for us, I think I'm just more interested in, as Neville said, I'm neurotic. I think Jews are just never satisfied, which is bad. It's like I'm never satisfied.
The
right?
next level.
Yeah. And so I think it's a really challenging question. It's like, how fast should a company grow? So last year, we were just done a finance meeting earlier today. We grew 50%. And so
Year over year? Or?
Yeah, year over year. And Andrew Chen, who's one of our advisors, my best friend, he's like, well, why don't you do 100%? He's Asian. He has a tiger mom, so you can see where it comes from. And but like for him, it's like, why not? And then it's like, well, why not 200? And one of the answers is like, you're gonna have a short life here, so you might as well do the most interesting things possible and figure out like how do you push the business. So for me, I'm more excited and very interested in, like, we launched this thing called AppSumo Marketplace. How do we take that from like right now it's doing a few $100,000 a month to like a few million a month to like this is something that when you say you worked at AppSumo, it's like, oh wow, you worked at AppSumo.
Yeah. Okay. So for you, it's more about brand recognition than a specific employee count or EBITDA or.
I think the revenue
gross
from
revenue.
like, if I'm straight, the ego of the revenue internally is very satisfying. Like,
Sure.
It's like, wow, we make this much money at a top line. I would say the amount of people we can reach, like in terms of active customers, like we reach maybe 60 to 70,000 active customers a year, which is frankly, I appreciate our customers, but that's relatively small.
Yeah.
Like if you think about like Netflix has 160 million subscribers, right? So it's like we're just starting to touch the ocean of entrepreneurship. And so for us, if we can get to like 1 million active customers, something like that, it would be wild.
See, I'm always impressed with guys like you that are trying to build what I consider real businesses, because I only build like lifestyle businesses. I'm like,
You make the same amount of money, but then you don't do anything. You
Yeah.
just hold Bitcoin.
I'm kind of like you. Like I don't.
Maybe you got it right.
Did you just insult Chris on his own show?
I just hate managing people, man. Like big teams scare me. Like, and I'm not like a great leader in the sense that I'm good at recruiting other leaders to manage those people too. I don't know.
I mean, dude, what do you want? I think that's the thing, is that even people who have day jobs have awesome lives, but I think that's a big misconception.
Yeah.
Like I think people think entrepreneurship is freedom, entrepreneurship is better. Most times it's kind of shitty. And there's no one to blame, right? It's all you. And a day job kind of alleviates that.
Yeah.
And so I think for you and everyone, it's like, what are you great at? And just do that all the day.
Yeah.
Also, I tend to admire companies that are really, really, really tiny, but they have like a big effect. I think something like Instagram back in the day had like 12 employees, some famous thing
Yeah.
like that, had 1 billion users, some crazy number, right? I always admire those types of things. I think that's a cool way of life.
Yeah.
And that you don't necessarily need a gigantic number of people to make something big. Although arguably you could say, like, if you look at Amazons or Apples, they do have many, many, many employees.
Yeah.
So making something gigantic like that, perhaps you do need a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess for me, mine's like a little weird and different in that I measure my success by how many people I play a hand in helping them become millionaires. Like that's my, I guess, driving force is not employee count, not even revenue, but like how many people can I get to say, Chris, you help me become a millionaire, or what, financial freedom, or whatever the fuck that
One
is.
interesting thing to take, just like since we're talking about crypto, is you take a look at Satoshi Nakamoto or Vitalik Buterin or something like that. These people that are engineers to the nth degree. Those people single-handedly, or not totally single-handedly, but by themselves almost, created a lot of wealth and a really big thing.
Yeah.
That just kind of was managed to take a life of its own.
Yeah.
That to me is very appealing for some reason.
I mean, and that's the cool thing with crypto is like anybody can sit in their room and spin something up and put it out to the world and either get called a scammer or God or whatever. It's like, it's a meritocracy, man, that we're redefining money, and like people are constantly fighting about this shit. Like you have Bitcoin maximalists that hate Ethereum people. You have Ethereum people that look at Bitcoin maximalists, and then you got all these other little tribes that are out there fighting it out right now. It's a weird thing.
What if you had a daughter and she brought home a guy and he was like, I'm a crypto trader? What would you think?
I'd be like, get the hell out of here. No. Oh man. Yeah.
It sounds funny until you have to show the income statement, or you have to show like your bank account.
Yes.
And then they're like,
that's
oh
true.
yeah, I love Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But I think the thing I haven't liked about the Bitcoin experience is it's not, for the most part, I would say it's not controllable, right? So I think investing, for the most part, unless you're doing it professionally, which is what I think people misconstrue what a professional is. Like Neville is a professional writer, right? And I think a lot of people treat it amateurly and like, I'm gonna get rich doing it. It's like, no, you have to be professional.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
But think about the richest people you know, at least for me, they've made their money in multiple ways. And sometimes the most amount of money they made was like an investment in something else besides their main business.
So I actually think the opposite. I think if you look at the richest people I looked at it today. That's what I do in the mornings. I looked at the Forbes 100 list, and you look at the top. I mean, if you want to pull it up on screen, even like look at the Forbes 100 billionaires. They all made money in one way. They all made money either. Most of them are tech, right?
I can't spell Forbes.
F-O-R-B-E.
Forbes 100
list. I guess the point I was making about crypto earlier was that I like businesses because you can create your wealth without dependency. Like you're a little bit dependent how crypto's going to do unless you're a professional trader. But as a business owner, you have an unlimited upside of things you can really, really control.
Yeah, dude, I think that's so true. And I wanted to talk about this difference because like my day, like most of my day is not building a business. Most of my day is like looking at my capital base and saying, how do I grow that? Where for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume that your focus is how do I get the EV, the enterprise value or whatever of the Sumo Group to hundreds of millions or billions to sell, right? That's like your investment. Is that right?
I think we're thinking on similar things, just different wavelengths. So I do think about, we have cash, how do we better use it to get better returns in the business? I'm not thinking about what's our value of the business.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking more individually like, hey, if we hired these engineers, do we get a better ROI? Just like how Neville does when he's hiring his team too. You're just looking, I think what you do better probably is like take the cash that your business is generating or that you have, and then like, how do I deploy it directly to create even a lot more?
Yeah.
Hold on, that didn't make any fucking sense.
No, it made sense.
Yeah, so the money I make from the business, I don't really spend really well. I think you're doing really well with that. But the business itself, all that cash, it's more hiring, marketing, whatever we can do to grow the company.
Yeah, I mean, so this is something I learned from our business partner, Travis, the stock geek. He is one of the smartest guys I know. And he talks about the best CEOs being the best capital allocators. Like, this is kind of a shift for me, like thinking of a CEO as a guy that like manages people and builds products to no, a CEO decides the best way to take capital and get a return on that to increase the value of the business and all that. So in a way, like you are a professional investor just at like doing it through your own business rather than investing in other people's stuff.
I think part of it is if we're going to live one life, it's just trying to find the thing that you enjoy doing all day. So the idea of looking at, like, let's go back to the cryptograph, if you don't mind. Like the idea of what you're doing all day, like this seems like hell to me, right? Like this.
Well, and you have an assumption of what I do, which I can clarify.
Yeah,
because I'm not sitting here looking at the screen all day like day trading.
That's what I
in and
think
out.
you do.
No, hell no. Like the data shows over 99% of day traders lose money. Period. Like I don't day trade. Like my last trade or my last entry on Bitcoin was way the fuck down here. Like I think I added some at 14K, but my last significant entry was down here. So that was on the 12th. So what is that? Yeah. So we're, several weeks into that. So most of my day is just researching and learning and thinking about how to allocate capital. So.
Well, I think for everyone, it's just finding where they have an advantage and what they enjoy. Like you,
Yeah.
I remember I saw Neville one time. He's writing. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm writing. I love writing." I'm like, "You like this?"
You mean you enjoy what you do on a
And he's
daily
like,
basis?
Yeah, and he loved it.
I did it for 10 years for free before I ever got paid for it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so explain what you do now, because I know you're sought after by a bunch of companies that want them to have the magic Neville
That sounds
sauce.
nice. I like that.
But you have a community. You write for your own stuff, obviously. But what does your day look like?
We basically, if someone has a web page, we look at it and say, maybe you should change that headline. Maybe you should put that down here. Maybe you should add some testimonials there.
Yeah.
That's kind of the basis of it. And then we put out just stuff about copywriting and business and fun articles and stuff that people come to. A percentage of those people sign up to the email list, and a percentage of those people end up signing up to our little community thing where we do all that stuff in there.
Yeah.
And we do office hours. So every week we're on calls with people and we go through their stuff, which is actually really fun because you get to see other people's businesses and talk about their revenue and see where to change stuff. And it's really cool because I've got very good at that, except on your own stuff. Like if you see your own, like if you see your AppSumo Black Friday deal again, you'd be like, I've seen like 1,000 times. I don't know what to change.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be able to come in and look at people's businesses like that, just rearrange stuff for that.
So are you still doing like one-on-one consulting and trying to get equity or?
Tuesdays I do consulting still.
Yeah.
And I had to phase it back because it started happening every single day and I was just going, it was a little too much.
Yeah.
But Tuesdays I do consulting just to stay sharp. And there's a lot of companies that don't want to put stuff out except for me. So I do private consults on Tuesdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And like, what's your average company? Is it like a brick and mortar? Is it a tech startup? Is it a
primarily like websites? Websites, especially if they have an email list, that's always the easiest.
Yeah.
I mean, Noah got me into email years ago. I guess the AppSumo days. I started realizing the importance of email.
Yeah.
And if we can write an email that's really good and convinces a bunch of people to buy stuff, they can send it out and it instantly makes money. That's my favorite stuff to do. Then web pages and then brick and mortar stuff. We do too, but like I think that's actually easier and a little bit different. Yeah.
How cool is it that like in today's day and age, you can sit down, you can write an email, you can send it out, and it's like printing money.
It is one of the easiest. So I think actually programming might be the highest leverage thing you can do.
Not yet.
But if you write stuff, it's kind of like programming in a way, but for dumber people.
Yeah.
And so, for people like me who can't really get it. I did 1 year at computer science, couldn't hack it. But like, yeah, you can change words around and it changes the complete outcome of that page, multiplied by thousands of people a day. Or something like that.
So you're like a writing engineer is what you put on your application.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
That could be
You
a
know,
new
like
thing.
people make their jobs sound way more important.
I know. I was
Like
all
unemployed
the engineers
person,
out there are like, God, they're ruining us. Like,
Yeah. Writer, writing engineer, unemployed, investor.
Yeah.
I love it. I allocate capital.
yeah. Capital allocator.
That's what you tell your wife, so she'll stay with you.
it is.
What?
No,
Go for it.
because like lately I've been doing a lot of YouTube, and so
Yeah.
people are like, oh, what do you do? What do you work on? I'm like, I'm a YouTuber. Yeah.
I heard you tell someone new that who didn't know who you were, and you were like, "Yeah, I do a lot of YouTube," and I was like, "Oh, that does sound bad."
Yeah.
You know, it's still. But I think a lot of stuff sounds weird until it's not weird.
So here's the thing though, like YouTube is so important nowadays because everything's been commoditized except brands, basically. So like what you're doing, I think is fucking brilliant like taking your knowledge, packaging it up, putting your spin on it, doing creative stuff. All of us are kind of doing that in a way where it's like, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't call myself a YouTuber, but like that's an avenue. That's something we do on a daily or weekly basis. Yeah. And I don't know. It's probably the last thing to get commoditized.
I think YouTube is still one of the biggest. Like, if people do crypto and that's like they're investing. However, I don't know if I call it investing. It's more like gambling to me.
Yeah.
But they do that for like a minute or two a day. The rest of the day, like, they should do YouTube. I think it's going to be the biggest wealth creator for people in the future. And I asked one of the guys who's the largest, Mr. Beast, one of the top channels. He doesn't look at himself as a YouTuber. He looks at himself as the next Disney.
Wow. That's smart.
And so
like, in what way? Like,
well, just in the size of like he's creating a media company. He's not being an entertainer.
Right.
He's creating a CBS. And he's building his brand, and they have merch, and they have all these, that was what I was talking with this business manager. And I thought it was just it's a higher perspective, higher vision. Like, he had a bigger vision than everyone else has so far on what he's doing. And I think for YouTube, it's for everyone. You know, Neville's big in it. You're big in it.
Yeah. What's your goal with YouTube?
Maybe like we talked about this recently about YouTube, and I have a thing called like the one view theory, where it's just like you can get a lot of views on stuff, but if it's for the wrong people, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But like let's say like you're really into investing, and like the top crypto guy watches one of your videos.
Yeah.
That's the view that counts.
Yeah.
So I think there's something interesting about that you could put all this stuff out there, and it has very little downside, but potentially a lot of upside.
Yeah.
Maybe some downside, but like you got to be probably not. So I just really like that you can take a conversation that we have that's really interesting and amplify it out to the world, essentially for free, thanks to YouTube. And that everything I try to do, if I do any work, let's say I'm writing, the writing then goes out to the world, and I send it to what I call like Robot Neville, which is basically a server that serves it up. So later you want to look at my writing, you can go view it on your phone in the next 2 years. And real Neville is just, I don't know, sitting here goofing around.
Yeah.
But Robot Neville is out doing the work. So I want to take as much of normal Neville and put that into Robot Neville as possible.
Yeah. It's like a real world way of actually cloning yourself multiple hundreds, thousands of times.
It is.
Just
if
having
someone
them
is
out
watching
there
this, they're
doing-
actually not watching us. They're watching a bunch of photons going into that camera through electrons, blah, 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 processing, and then watching that.
Yeah.
They're not watching us. They're watching
The scale is really cool. Yeah.
Well, I think one thing to add to your question was like, why is Neville doing it? Because it builds his brand, and I think YouTube is the most affordable way to grow your brand or business today. And like you're saying that aren't you getting a lot of audience and exposure from it?
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Like how many people talk about it. I was just talking to my brother today, and he was just like, "Yeah, I was watching your interview with this guy," and I was like, "You watched that? That's interesting."
Yeah.
Like, he spent time with me, kind of basically just like watching that.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of interesting.
I love it. I mean, that's why I do this, right? Is like, how can you share stuff with the world, have fun with friends? And I stopped caring about like vanity metrics a long time ago. What do you guys think? Do you guys still get like an ego boost out of like subs or views?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think what you have to do, if you're in the content creation game, honestly, if you're in any business, like the things that I thought were going to be my biggest thing, I'm like, all right, here's the Lambo, here's the Ferrari, here's the color, and it never works out that way.
Yeah, instead you got a Miata.
You literally own a Miata,
I
right?
do. I walked here, by the way, like a mile and a half.
It probably would have been faster than a Miata.
This is why I stay single.
He also
He
has
can
a
buy
Tesla.
any car in the world,
Also
and he
has a Tesla.
Oh, what kind of Tesla? Oh yeah, but you're giving the damn Tesla away.
Yeah.
But so you know what's funny? I say there's two separate things. I'll tell you, it's the difference, and I think about this a lot. The difference between a professional and an amateur.
Yeah.
So the idea with content creation or almost anything in business, I've had to disconnect how I feel about it versus how it goes in the world. So I think in the beginning of these YouTube videos, I'd put it out there, and if people didn't like it, I'm like, oh, I'm not worthy. This stuff sucks. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so I think there is a component though, where it's like, hey, did I do the video I wanted? Okay, fine. But I think the professional side of once you find doing videos that you enjoy doing is what are the key metrics that move the needle or not. And so for YouTube, there are key metrics that we look at obsessively and we track all the time. Basically, your CTR and your AVD. So your CTR is what's the topic, what's your title, what's your thumbnail, and then what is the AVD, how much the average view duration for, or how long are people watching your videos in the next video or not.
Yeah.
And so a professional, like you look at a professional on YouTube, you're like, oh, they probably just get the camera out and they do this. Like the best don't do that.
Yeah.
The best are like really calculating how to figure out how to like make content that's going to get watched.
It's a good point. Did you get that from the War of Art?
I tried reading that book. I couldn't. Oh no, Stephen Pressel.
Stephen Pressel.
That was a pretty good book. I thought you meant Art of War.
Yeah.
I really want to enjoy that book. There's certain books I'm like, oh, I really want to read, but I've
Never read The Art of War?
the Sun Tzu one.
Yeah.
I just always am like, I try to read it. It's like Shakespeare to me.
There's better like recap videos for that book. And I think you tweeted about this, right? About the idea of like videos are better than books nowadays.
I think so. I mean, I just noticed my own. I was a pretty voracious reader.
Yeah.
And I noticed the amount of time I spend reading a book versus reading a podcast or YouTube or watching one of those and taking notes on them.
Yeah.
I watch far more YouTube videos. I think also you could take any book, type in 4-minute version, and they have like those little cartoon drawing versions.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think those are better than the book sometimes. I've read books and I watched a recap and I'm like, that was actually better.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, find a book you're interested in, YouTube it, find some like clips, videos, whatever, summaries, and then decide if you actually want to spend 6 to 8 hours like actually
I
reading
found
the
out
damn
in
thing.
middle school and high school, I used to go through the library and blindly. I had this thing I was told you about,
remember that.
where I put my hand over my my face and I randomly point at a book and have to go read that book. I have to go sit down in the library stacks and read that book, and I cannot leave until I'm finished. I was allowed to skip pages and I was allowed to skip chapters by speed reading them. And I realized most books have at least a couple of parts that really suck or just are not applicable to you in any way whatsoever.
Like just fluff or
Just fluff. I remember reading one of Ryan Holiday's books, one of our friends, his first book that came out. I remember the first 120 pages were dope. I was
Which book?
hooked. Trust me, I'm lying. You got it there?
Oh, I
First
gave it away.
120
Yeah.
pages were amazing. And the next part was not that good. And I remember talking to him later about that book, and he's like, yeah, the publisher wanted me to make it longer so we could sell it for more money.
Yeah.
He said something to that effect. And I remember thinking, like, oh, the part that they wanted to add longer, he had to kind of like force that in, and that's why it felt forced. And so I always remember that. And I'm just like, yeah, a lot of these books, they just want like 300 pages so they can charge $12.99 versus $9.99.
yeah. And you don't have to feel guilty for not finishing a book.
Hell
Like,
no.
I probably finished 5% of books.
If it's not going to be helpful, what is the point of finishing a book?
Yeah.
It's not some magic thing. It's just a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you read?
Yeah, I read a lot.
Yeah. Like what? Fiction, nonfiction, business?
What am I reading today? So I have 3 books. I always have an audio, a physical, and a digital. So the digital's for in bed. I'm reading Calling in the One, How to Find Your Dream Soulmate. I don't know why you're laughing at me, Chris,
Dude, you
but
just
I
got to sign up for one of those millionaire dating things.
I actually
Or Grinder.
And I just signed up. I just hired a dating coach, so we're having our first session on Wednesday.
Okay.
The audiobook I'm listening to is Ben Franklin's biography. So I'm listening to just Ben. I don't know why
Ashley
he was
Vance one?
Which the Walter Isaacson one.
Yeah, that one.
And then the physical book I'm reading is called Goodbye Things, which is awesome. It's kind of like a Marie Kondo, life-changing art, tidying up. I actually, the whole point of books, I think, most of them suck. I think, but some of them, if you read it, there's actually like you want to hear the same message many, many, many times. But I think one of the things that Neville does, and I've done as well, which helps, is that if you're reading books or videos or whatever podcasts, take notes. Like I take notes on all of those, and
Do
then
you take notes when you're listening to an audio thing too?
Yeah, so I'll pause it, go take notes, and then I review the notes later. I generally don't review it more than once, but I'll type them up and either put it on my blog, which I think everyone should do, or just at least look at it one time, and
Yeah.
that kind of like lightly imprints it.
The cool thing about a
Yeah.
book is like you just never know what tidbit you'll pick up that changes your life. That's the hard thing. Like you don't know. Like maybe you read that book, maybe you read that Ben Franklin book, which by the way I did read it. I actually didn't think it was the best.
I didn't get why he's so
I
famous.
actually don't like that version of that
Yeah.
Ben Franklin book. I think there's much better ones that are much shorter than that one. But you might pick up one thing that completely changes your life. So you never know.
No, it's true. I tried reading this one. So this is Teddy Roosevelt's like thick as shit, right? This was going to be like my bedtime reading. The amount of detail they go in about like the second cousin's color of his pants, like details
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, I don't care. Like, can we make it like that thick? Like, give me the.
This is why I allowed myself to skip chapters. Because even in that Benjamin Franklin book, they start talking about his uncle and his uncle's grandfather and how he came about. And I was just like, okay, this is a little too far off the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might be getting a tattoo.
Dude, do you have any tattoos?
Yeah.
What do you have?
I have a really, really dumb one. Do you?
You look like a guy that has like a Florida kind of tattoo.
Yeah.
I can see like a barbed wire on. No,
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
no, it's
Do you have,
worse.
like,
It's worse. It says.
Well, I didn't know you had a tattoo.
Yeah, it says it's that one. It says life, and then upside down it says death. I got it like
that's kind of cool actually.
well. So somebody gave me this card, and it was like it said some religious thing, and I was like, oh man, I was 18 years old in like a week, right? And I was like, man, that's so deep. And then I went and got it, and not knowing that a rapper had just come out with a rap video where he had one on each of his arms, one each direction, so life and then death. And then like everybody for the next year had that tattoo. And I'm definitely getting it covered up. I got to get something cool. Maybe, I don't know, I could probably turn that into a Bitcoin thing.
That's cool, man. I like the idea. I mean, did it matter to you then, or did
Matter what?
the tattoo? Did you care about life and death? Was that?
I was religious at the time.
You seem like a priest. I thought you could be a pastor. If this Bitcoin thing doesn't work out, you'd be like, let me tell you about Jesus, not Bitcoin. Hold on, if you just replace Bitcoin with Jesus,
What do I?
Ooh, that could be it's the same thing. Yeah, about as religious as it gets. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. I think I'm just gonna. I don't know. What should I get?
I mean, the Bitcoin at fucking 19,000, dude.
We'll see. Where are we now? We are at 18,796. Y'all
getting-
keep buying.
Yes.
Buy it up. Let's go.
I really wish we were selling something live. That'd be actually damn cool, like QVC.
Like
or something.
yeah, like the
Yeah.
QVC of crypto. Yeah, you should do that.
Buy this shit coin.
Yeah,
How do you guys like this whiskey, by the way?
dude, nice.
I'm digging it.
It's not.
Yeah,
but you,
thank you.
I saw you switching.
I
over
wanted
to
you
the
to try.
Texas
Yeah,
stuff.
I want you to try it when you get a moment.
Okay,
Whenever you
I'll finish this one and then switch over. So, am I on camera? So, this, for anybody that came in late, this is the Akashi single malt whiskey, Japanese. Dude, I think this is one of the smoother Japanese whiskeys I've had. They're usually like super peaty.
What's that the popular one? What's it called?
Suntory is the brand.
No, there's some
Hibiki.
Yamazaki.
Yeah, Yamazaki,
Yeah.
Hibiki.
All those words sound the same to me. Like I couldn't differentiate the differences.
I think what's always funny about shit like this is like they're like, oh, it's the story. It tastes better than the whiskey.
Right,
Like, this
right.
is a 1970 vintage shit, and I try it. I'm like, oh, Jack Daniels tastes kind of similar. I know you're
That's wine. Like wine too.
Yeah.
Although I do get sucked in whenever I go to a winery and they're like, "Oh, the orange." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can totally taste it." Even though I know I think it's kind of bullshit, but it's like it's still fun to go along with the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you write copy for wine?
Oh, totally. I could.
You
Bullshit.
could sell the
I could
shit out of
bullshit
wine.
pretty
Right?
well.
Should
Yeah.
we start a winery?
We could. We just take.
Are there
like,
any
that basic
wineries for
Yellowtail
sale?
stuff, and then I'll make a fake story about it.
Yeah.
No, I've been making my own wine.
That's true. You're
Prison
coconut
wine?
I've
wine.
been making coconut wine.
It does look like prison wine.
I've heard about it. Yeah. What's happening?
It's pretty. I think what's interesting about a lot of things in life is like it's much easier than we think. So you're like, oh, wine, you need all this shit. No, literally, you get a jug, you put coconut water or any sweet, put sugar in it, put some yeast, and then you just let it sit. And then
I don't know, man. That sounds
No,
too
it's
easy.
We should make like prison wine.
Yeah.
Just to see how it is when you eventually end up in jail for crypto stuff.
Let's do it, man. I'm down. Let's start our own brand. You write the copy. This
I'll do the marketing.
right here will be the face.
I'll do the marketing.
You look
Yes,
like the guy
exactly
in the
as is.
field, like picking the grapes or something like that.
Or the coconuts for the coconut wine. It's perfect.
Coconut, yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's see. I created a list of stuff to talk about.
Let's do it.
Are we
Just-
done already?
Yeah, that's
He's
it.
like,
Wrap
yeah,
it
let's
up.
get quick as shit. Get these bums off.
Right. Let's see. We talked about the Hawaiian shirts. I wanted to ask you guys about your craziest travel stories.
Ooh.
Oh man.
I mean, your birthday was probably one of the craziest.
Cuba, we did Cuba when it was still illegal. Is it still illegal?
Now it's legal, but
It's
I think
like
it was
kind of you
illegal.
can go with.
Wait,
some
you
sort
went
of
when
weird-
it was illegal?
illegal.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. How'd you
My
get in?
30th birthday. He planned a lot of it because part of it was a surprise. I mean, knew we were going to Cuba. Went to Mexico first, and then we have cash tickets on Cubana Airlines.
So you pay
Buy the
cash?
tickets, yeah.
You buy the ticket, and
In
then
Mexico.
you buy the most hilarious thing: a Cuban visa, which is just some dude that's going around the airport going Cuban visa, Cuban visa.
Like it's just a fake printout or
So
something?
then
Yeah.
he literally stamps like a piece of paper, and you put it in your passport. It's not stamped on your passport because like they know that you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So they put it in there, and in Cuba they know what's up. Yeah.
So what happens if they actually do stamp it and you come back to the U.S.
So
and they
I
see
had a
it?
double stamped passport, and I just got my passport renewed. So I only had like one thing from India or something like that was stamped, and they looked at it and didn't care. Apparently, no one's got in trouble for it in a very long amount of time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of like one of those things where it's not technically legal, but you can still go.
Dude, do you know? I've never told the story publicly. I guess now it's fine. But I remember. So I went and we took my brother. My parents weren't exactly happy that we're going to a communist country, and I was also taking my only other sibling. And so so we went, and I remember thinking I researched it quite a bit. We researched it a lot, and it seemed like it was going to be pretty safe, right? But I thought there was a 1% to 2% chance that maybe something happened. And so I had what I called a contingency plan, which was a Google Doc shared with two very close friends that I knew wouldn't take advantage or anything like that.
Your Bitcoin
And
private keys? Or?
I think this is all pre-Bitcoin, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe starting around that time, and it had the keys to a bank account that had $150,000 in cash in it, and the number of a lawyer who would put things into action.
That was like your
in case we got
advance?
arrested. Because we went with 6 of us,
We're a little
and
nervous.
and we thought we were just like, I could see one of us getting arrested.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is for some stupid thing. Fortunately, that didn't happen. It got maybe a little bit close one time on the way back to the airport. But yeah, I had a contingency plan. I remember thinking later, I was just like, I guess if I made a contingency plan, that probably was a little bit risky. Yeah.
So what did you guys do when you were there?
Just go around. We had a dope penthouse and everything like that. It was awesome. It was an amazing trip.
What year?
Outside of Havana,
It was like what?
It's just-
8 years ago now? It was
Yeah.
8 years ago. Like
Okay.
this month. It was his first birthday.
Nice.
kind of makes you appreciate being born in the United States.
Yeah, let's
Honestly,
talk about that a little bit. There's a huge anti-capitalism like narrative going around.
I'm from immigrant parents. I guess so are you. And so like we love capitalism and think it's great and provides wealth that provides not poverty. So like I'm super on the side of like create jobs, get out of people's ways, stuff like that.
Nikki was telling me recently that there's like in the female finance community that like hating on capitalism is like this huge thing right now. And like, oh, socialism's cool. Apparently there's a girl that's going to Cuba, like throwing a entrepreneur investing group in Cuba
She's
to talk
charging money
about
for it?
yeah,
Capitalist stuff?
yeah,
Okay.
you know, literally posting on Instagram through her iPhone talking about how capitalism's bad or something like that. Like,
Well, spoiler alert: Cuba sucks. Most of it. So Havana is a cool city.
Yeah.
But most of the people that are actually born in Cuba, their main pastime is trying to get out of Cuba because
Right.
they make $18 a month and that's their whole life.
Yeah.
As a doctor.
So and then oh dude, remember their stores, like their government stores?
Yeah.
It is so depressing, dude. You go to these places and it's just like aisles and aisles of the exact same food. Most of the shelves are empty. It looks like the United States inside like the beginning of a pandemic. That's
Damn.
what their stores look like, except less stocked, and you only get like a certain amount of rations. Like it's so sad.
so like in North Korea where they have like the fake food on the shelves and
Probably, man. I mean, also just like going to India since I was young. I mean, I saw what a third world country actually is, and I was just like, holy shit, this is how people live. Like
Wow.
this is what it is. So I think a lot of people like that. I think they're a bit misguided and that they've never actually gone to a third world country, except maybe if they stay in like some awesome hotel.
Right.
They never go live like a middle class person in a third world country.
right.
Because most immigrants love capitalism. They love what we got going on here.
Yeah.
Because they see the other side of it.
Dude, that's why I'm so pro-immigrant in the U.S. Like, I think this whole like, you know, like put up the borders and lock everybody out.
Immigration for people who want to work.
Right.
Not just pro-immigration. Pro-immigration for people who want to work.
Really quickly, just I was looking at some of the comments. Dude, we are getting close to tattoo time. I am super excited, man. I can't wait to tattoo your ass.
I
dude.
don't know. Let's see how far
Yo,
away.
do you think he's gonna get tattooed tonight or not?
Oh my God.
I was looking at Eric Swanson. Somebody's
It's 1% away, basically. Yeah, we're about 1% away.
Wait, so that means like $80 million has to go into Bitcoin or something like that? And like,
Wow, we got to look at the order book to see how hard it would be. I don't have enough cash on an exchange to try to drive it up, but we'll see. Maybe these guys can.
Hell yeah, man. I can't wait for you to get tatted. I would pay if anyone wants to tattoo my face. I'll do $100 right now in crypto.
Wait,
face?
If they want to tattoo me on them.
Oh, wait a minute.
yeah, that's not bad, man.
Oh, you thought I would get a face tattoo?
Yeah, for $100?
How much would you pay somebody to get your face tattooed on them?
Like right now, straight up. Okay, 100 sounds low. I would do $1,000.
You would do $1,000
In crypto, I'll do crypto.
Would you
or
do
cash.
one Bitcoin? Would you do like
20 Gs?
18 or 19 grand?
Maybe if it's like a
No.
famous person. Like
Yeah.
George Clooney.
I'd also
Hey,
feel like,
dude.
yeah. You know what's funny though? I think because I would just feel bad for them then. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'd feel guilty.
Yeah.
What if they already had a bunch of face tattoos? It was like Post Malone. He's like, okay, face number 31, like face tattooed. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Oh shit, dude. Okay, we'll see.
I have-
Any takers? I guess.
I would pay to name your child. Like
Yeah.
that to me seems cool to like be able to name the people's for the rest of their lives.
What would you name
Would you
them?
name it something
Noah.
funny?
No,
Just
Noah.
Noah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
Noah?
like Absumo Noah?
No, I did have I did have a talk today with a guy where it'd be cool to name your friend's food. Like your name was like Ribs or Pickle. But it sounds more like a dog name. So
Yeah.
probably not.
Oh man. So I don't know. Let's see if we get any takers on this. That'd be kind of dope.
If anyone, $100, tattoo my name, my phone number, my face.
Yeah. All right. My Ozo
not bad.
asked, "How is the whiskey compared to other Scotch age single malts?" I've only had Japanese whiskey a handful of times, and I was always kind of like, meh. This one I actually really fucking like. What do you guys think?
Dude, I like what
dig it.
I'm trying the other ones, but dude, it was great.
Yeah.
I'll try it again if I have to.
Do you sometimes think that they're all pretty good?
There, yeah,
Like,
almost,
I like them
yes.
all the time.
I don't know, man. I'm a little more sophisticated on the no. I mean, I've always found
You have a
Japanese
Hawaiian
whiskeys
shirt
to
with
be like really bitey. Like they're just like, ooh, they're like bite you in the face. Like, but this one is super smooth.
But I think that's part of the coolness of it, right? Like there's different types.
Yeah.
Like this one's bitey, some are not. Some taste like a campfire.
Yeah.
Like that's the fun of it, right?
I'm just looking forward to this coconut wine.
Dude, I should have brought this.
It's very sweet.
It's pretty nice.
It looks illegal because it's in like a random clear bottle, and it's got like a murky look.
Starting businesses though, it's funny because you would see the bottle, you'd be like, oh, I bought bottles on Amazon, I just packaged it, and that's how all this stuff started.
Yeah.
Right. Eventually, they evolved to having nicer bottles, nicer labels, but it just
We rented a house in California in Malibu together. No, we're not gay.
You guys are just heterosexual life partners. It's cool.
BFFs. He was making that coconut. That was the first time, right?
Yeah, that was first batch.
And it did look like a big jug of piss.
Yeah, that one did. That one
In
did.
his bathroom because he had to keep it there because there was like an air vent or something on it.
Well, it has to be a certain temperature, but I mean, all this stuff's
No,
I was saying, no, all this. Every business starts shitty.
Yeah.
Right, but I think people are like, "Oh, it's not this fancy." I'm like, "Yeah, it all starts just. Do people actually want what you're doing?" And no one wants my coconut wine. But I've been enjoying.
Have you tried selling it?
No, but I'm also just enjoying the practice of
You're still
making
refining it.
Yeah, I think the best businesses are the ones where like, yeah, I just kind of like doing this stuff, and somehow people seem to like it.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Ooh,
kind of
what if we all next month brew our own something and we have to compare it by the end?
That's cool.
Whether it's beer, cider, kombucha, something like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a great
that'd be
idea.
I actually want to start like a liquor company though. Like, I mean, that's fun, but like I see you, this picture right here.
Let's do it,
That's the bottle right there. Like, am I lying? Like, dude, are you kidding me? That is the coconut.
Like, if Trader
wine
Joe's
bottle.
was a person, it would look like that.
I'd love a Trader. If you were a supermarket, what supermarket would you be? Because Trader Joe's, honestly, that's a compliment to me.
Like, would you be or would you aspire to be?
I would love to be a Trader Joe's. Yeah, I think it's like they only have select items. They have it under their own brand. I think the value is really high. They have free samples. I mean, it's just an amazing store.
Yeah.
I mean, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Quickie Mart.
7-Eleven, dude. Yeah. 7-Eleven. Don't give yourself so much credit. Yeah. I don't know if I'd say you think you're a Whole Foods? I could see you as like a Tom's Market or something.
No, he's probably like some like the California version of like
Smith's?
Trader
I'm
Joe's.
Publix. So Florida, Publix, like Florida's like the Whole Foods of Publix, except less grainy, like less hippie. It's a private company. They pay their employees really well. They're clean as shit, and they got the best subs.
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
Oh, we did? I forgot.
No. A few days ago, you were telling me about these subs.
Oh,
I want
that's
to get that
right.
sub.
That's how
dude.
you know you're older. When I was in my 20s, I'd be like, I live right next to 6th Street. Now I'm like, I live right next to a Whole Foods and a Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Like, that's my claim to fame right now that I get excited about.
No, I think
You made it when you
Yeah.
live next to a Whole Foods.
I think
Like
it's that or
between a Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. Like if I
Damn.
just want one avocado, Trader Joe's all the way, baby.
I was gonna say I think it's also you're old when you talk about your furniture.
Oh, God.
Oh man, I got this new couch.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god.
Somebody was asking, what's the name of the whiskey? This is Akashi. Akashi? How would you say
I
that?
think that sounded good, dude.
Akashi single malt whiskey, aged 3 years in a sake cask.
All right, Kristen, real quick, because it is your show, but I am curious, what does the audience and us not know about you? Because I don't know you very well. I like you. I want to get to know you better. So maybe we could start here.
Well, I like you too.
Thanks,
You hang out with this guy, which 2 points down.
You're always a pretty happy guy.
Yeah.
Whenever I describe you to people, I'm always like, yeah, he's real positive all the time, happy, just down to have a good time. Probably
Yeah.
because he's rich and doesn't have to worry about anything.
For the most part, yeah. I try to like have a daily routine of like this gratitude thing. I actually did a YouTube video talking about like everybody's got like a productivity thing or a morning routine, but I have one that actually fucking works for me. And like
Can
it
you share
keeps,
it?
yeah,
You just like
it's
watch the video, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it basically starts out with like a mantra, which like my mantra is growth and gratitude. Every day, I'm like, gratitude is one of those things that like all the woo-woo people talk about, where it's like, yeah, man, you just got to be happy and you got to be grateful. No, it's an act. It's like something you do every day. And if I don't do it in the morning, my day is like, meh. If I do it in the morning, it's like, meh.
Did you have one today?
Yeah.
What was yours today?
So I do like this thing where I say growth and gratitude that I just focus on every day. I want to grow a little bit and also be grateful.
You're like
'Cause-
in bed saying this, or you go somewhere? Or?
No, I do it on my computer. So I do what's called my daily dump,
Good name.
the non-coffee one. But it's where I brain dump but I start with that mantra and I think about like 6 things that I'm grateful for. 3 are the same every day, health, family, lifestyle. And then 3 are random, like fucking ukulele, having you guys on tonight, and then good Japanese whiskey, right? And if I spend like a minute or two like thinking about those things in the morning, it actually makes I get residual like happiness throughout the day. It actually works. Do you guys have a routine? Like a morning routine or a...
Well, I woke up, today's almost a new record. I woke up at 1:30 p.m. today. I'm not even kidding. I was up like just like playing around in bed, but I got out of bed at 1:30 p.m. today. I think that makes me very happy, like sleeping in, as long as I can. That's
How do you sleep that late though?
I didn't sleep that late, but I was just really comfortable in bed, and I would just I started my Apple TV for a bit. I looked at my phone for a bit, and then go back to sleep. I'll fluctuate from like phone to like going pseudo back to sleep.
Whoa,
Dude, we're getting close to 19. Just a heads up.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Listening to you?
Damn.
We might do it. That would be actually kind of crazy.
That would be awesome.
Where
we can
get-
go to 6th Street. We can go to 6th Street, get you the
Should we do it tonight?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it tonight. All right, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, where are we at?
tweeted it.
18,871. Holy shit, we are close.
How do you not feel guilty, by the way, for sleep? Because like as a kid, I would wake up when I slept in. I would cry.
What?
And I would cry because I would feel like I felt like I wasted the day.
I feel like I went through when in my 20s. I thought I needed to hustle all the time.
Yeah.
And I think you're supposed to hustle all the time when you're 20s. You have like a ton of energy. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And I tried all these things where I tried to wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to try to find the right time, and I was just like, I just don't function that well over the long run trying to wake up that early. It doesn't excite me. I don't like it. So my natural rhythm is to wake up very, very late. So I moved all my stuff to where I never do anything before 1 p.m. I don't have scheduled calls, except maybe on Tuesday, maybe 11 a.m. But like 11 a.m. is the earliest that you'll probably see me do something. Sorry, that I'll have to be presentable enough to do something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like get your shit together, do a meeting or a call or something.
Exactly. I'll often wake up a lot earlier than that if I want to and I feel like it.
Yeah.
But 11 is the earliest schedule thing I'll do.
What time do you go into the office? Because you actually have like a real office.
We have an office. I go to it about 3 times a week. One thing
You started waking up pretty late now.
I'm trying to wake up later. I'm trying to just not use an alarm. Like that's my main goal. If I can just not have to wake up to an alarm and be required.
Yeah.
Because like I think what's fascinating, you like create companies or make money to like do the life you want, and you're like, there's a guy in town who's worth probably about 50 mil, and he's like, oh man, no, you're traveling. I'm like, dude, you're way wealthier than I am. He's like, yeah, but you're traveling. I'm like, you can do it too. And so it's kind of, but he's like, no, I got a deal. I got to stay here for this.
What industry is he?
Right now he's in real estate. And so it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, didn't you create this stuff so you could do what you want?
Yeah.
And so I'm still working on where it's like, oh, I want to wake up late, or I want to do these kind of hangouts, or like make certain YouTube videos.
Also, one of the other reasons, like, by the way, it goes back to the killing myself at 85. Back to that. I think I divide my life up into 2 parts where it's kind of like the selfish part, like around to like age 40 or so.
Yeah.
And the unselfish part when you have a kid. So I think when you have a kid, you're naturally going to start waking up at 5:30 a.m., 2 a.m., 6 a.m., all sorts of crazy times. So while I can enjoy waking up at something ludicrous like 1:30 p.m., I want to do it because I don't want to miss out on that.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it's nice to have like the flexibility to do it and not feel guilty for it. Do you guys feel guilty if you just take like a fuck off day?
I feel he doesn't. I know you don't.
I feel a little bit guilty. Not
By
as
the
much as
way,
you.
if I'm getting a tattoo, I need more whiskey.
Yeah, hold on. So try
Yeah,
this.
let me try your stuff.
Let's try the single malt. No, so I didn't mean to project on you. Well, not project. I didn't mean to assume. But like Neville, you're better. I think Neville's better at enjoying life.
I think I'm way better at than you, but I think that's why we
In a
get
good
along
way, yeah.
because like you learn from me and then I learn from him. Like honestly,
Yeah.
like could you imagine if I didn't have like I have a lot of friends like I honestly think like way ahead of me. I don't know how I'm friends with them.
What does that mean though? Way ahead of you.
They have bigger companies, more recognizable, more money, all that kind of stuff. And I feel
Just
like
on the professional side, not on the other side.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
they don't have a
side.
death day, so anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, but and so I like being around them because they push me to be a lot better. Because I think honestly, if I just stopped where I am, I'd be like pretty happy.
Yeah.
But I think I had a good childhood, and therefore, like, I don't have that like crazy need to push forward as much all the time. Yeah. Is that accurate? Not accurate?
Say that to my mom.
But you arguably had a much like
I think I
crazier
had a more
childhood.
I had a more standard childhood with divorced parents, like just.
Are you a first generation immigrant?
My dad was first. My dad was the first one to move here.
Where's he from?
Israel.
Israel?
Yeah.
And your mom's
St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Cool. And then your parents were
Both from India, Bombay.
Bombay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And like your mom is like, no, you have to work like your ass off, or
I think what's interesting, especially during like coronavirus, I went and lived with them for a few weeks, and you just start seeing where you learn like how you behave. And I'm guessing if you hung out with Neville's parents for a while, which I've hung out with them a little bit, I was like, oh wow, they're very positive, cheery, happy people. And like hung out with my mom, she cleaned the oven for 3 hours. And I was like, Mom, I'm only with you for a few weeks. You want to hang out with me? She's like, yeah, but just let me finish the oven. And I'm like, oh, I guess this is why she's always on. Like she spent half a day cleaning the front part of the inside of the Tesla. Just the front part.
So she's obsessive, like about. Is it a control thing or is it just cleanliness? Or
I think the way that we like to label it, she has a lot of energy.
Okay.
And so, but it's interesting to see where we get some of that stuff from.
Yeah.
And so I think,
but it's a bit neurotic energy.
Yeah.
And you get that. I think like it's only possible to fall about 70% away from the apple tree that you were born from. I don't think it's possible to fall more than that, because that's what you grew up with. That's what you are going to turn into, unless you specifically make an effort not to. And the people that try the hardest not to generally become exactly their parents.
Whoa, dude, that's so true. Like
the people that are like, I'm never going to be like them. Those are the ones that tend to become like them. Whereas the one that are like, okay, that's the stock I'm made of.
Yeah.
And I want to change this one thing, so I'm going to work at that. I think those people tend to do it if they don't like something about their parents.
are you like your parents at all? Or how are you similar or dissimilar?
I don't know. I'm weird. So my dad was military. He was like a badass, like Secret Service, special operations, like did all that. My mom was housewife. Do you guys come from an entrepreneurial lineage, or are you guys outliers in that sense?
I come, so my parents, not really, but my heritage from like being Parsi Zoroastrian, a lot of the Zoroastrians were like half Iranian, half Indian. In the early like 1940s and stuff like that, they're big titans of industry, and they're all Zoroastrian. So I remember like hearing that whenever I grew up. And
What industries?
Like the GE of India called Tata, all that kind of stuff. Like that guy was Zoroastrian. A lot of the great people like in India history, whenever like they were emancipated from the British, were all Zoroastrian. So I remember hearing those stories early on. But my family specifically was not really.
Interesting.
And then also in our community, I think that was a big thing. Our Zoroastrian community, there was a lot of like businessmen. And I remember seeing this one guy who ended up being my first mentor, and his child is one of my best friends still to this day. And he donated like several $100,000 to our church. I remember knowing that how much our house costed, and I was like, this guy donated more than our house cost. I was like, how does that even work?
Yeah.
And so I remember asking him through my mom. I was like, what do you do? And he was like, come work for me and I'll show you around. So I think I was lucky that in our like little Zoroastrian community, there's a lot of businessmen that you can look at and be like, how is he rich? How is that person rich? What are they doing? And that kind of got me thinking like, oh, there might be another way.
Like A, it's possible, and B, you have like access to those resources.
Well, it was possible because I saw a guy who looks like me, but 40 years older doing it. So it's like, you know, it wasn't like that crazy to think that I could do it also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was very fortunate. Both my parents were opposites. So my mom and stepfather are extremely conservative, right? Like they had the standard 9-to-5 engineer, nurse, worked their jobs for 25 years, retired, and now they get to enjoy life, I would say. And then my father, who came from Israel, he had an interesting life. Like he worked in Macy's, he sold carpets, and then he ended up creating his own copier business. So when copiers and faxes and Pana boards, it's kind of older school, you'd write on a whiteboard and it would print it out.
Yeah.
And so he just created his own company. And I remember as a kid, I would always go in his van, which is the whole long
A little shady.
That sounds shady. No, I would just go in his van and I would follow him to customer calls. And I went around, and I didn't know if I guess that influenced me that, oh, it'd be cool to like just do your own thing.
Yeah.
And so it was fun to just like go to the stores and meet these people that he would sell copiers to.
It's interesting how all three of us had dad influences, right? Like I think that's huge. And I have a lot of friends that didn't have that, and they were successful too. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, I don't know if I didn't have a dad or like male role models to like look up to as a kid. I don't know. I might have turned out to be like a bigger piece of shit than I am now.
No, you're not a piece of shit at all, dude.
No. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I just think like having a male role model around as a kid is such a huge benefit.
Yeah, it's like a 2-parent unit and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
you
also
get lucky.
Yeah, it's super. I mean, I was lucky that my stepfather, that my mom, the guy my mom ended up dating, who she married, was an engineer. There was no other way I would be into computers. My dad was not really. My dad like got stuck on AOL chat rooms. Like, I mean, that's where he got excited. So like, that's as far as I would have gotten. But my stepdad was an engineer who always brought home computers. I'd always break them. He would fix them. We'd build them
That's
together.
interesting. My whole family was like engineers. My dad was an engineer. My brother was an engineer.
Which is influencing, like, we were, like, otherwise, I think if you're, not in a bad way, but other way, we could have just had a totally different trajectory.
Yeah.
That's true. Now that I think about it, it's like my dad would buy like the latest PC. Like we had latest PCs when we were very much children. We had like Prodigy before anyone like knew what the internet was.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
Nice.
I guess we did have like a big leg up, like thanks to
Yeah.
our parents. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a dad who I was like, man, my dad's a badass. He's so cool, but I'll never amount to that. And I thought I was going to be a loser because I was really bad in school. And like we had that narrative of like, dude, if you don't do good in school, you're going to end up on the streets or something. And I remember being 19, I was in community college the first semester. And I was like, Dad, I'm going to be a loser. I was crying. I'm like, I can't do this college thing, but I love doing my own thing. I love building my own business. But like, I didn't have any influence in my family that was like entrepreneurial. So I was like terrified of it. But he told me, he's like, look, man, like you can forge your own way. Like you don't have to do what I did. I was successful in my career. You can do something totally different. And like, if it wasn't for that support, I don't know if I would have had the balls to like step out and try to build businesses and try to build wealth. I'd have probably just fallen in line and done the corporate route or something.
Because your dad said that?
It definitely was like, it gave me a boost and it was like, all right. And I had the privilege, he's not wealthy, but like he helped me financially a little bit. Like whenever I would be broke, I'd be like, hey Dad, like, can I get some money? And he would be like, yeah.
You asked your parents?
Yeah. Well, one time I took some money and I was like, all right, this is my privilege that I get. And yeah, I was like, but if I go broke again in my 20s, I'm never asking for money ever again.
By the
and that
way,
was a drive to
I'm
fear.
a huge fan of like jobs.
Yeah.
I think people like good jobs are good. Bad jobs are bad. So like if you have a sucky job that goes nowhere and it's boring, like that's bad. But I think I know a lot of people, I'm sure you do too, with like really, really good jobs that are interesting.
Yeah.
They meet tons of crazy people. You had a job at Facebook. How cool is that? You
I met
got
a
to
lot of
meet
cool
like one of the
people from
richest guys in the world, work directly with him. You met a lot of smart people. It gave you a lot of cachet of your career. Like being employee number 30, that's kind of like a little mic drop kind of thing. I think like having a good job is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So whenever I dropped out of college, I went into corporate world, like working in mortgages and stuff. So that was my education. And I did have like good bosses and I learned like the way of hard work and all that. So that was kind of a benefit, but I do agree. Like you can like the idea of a salary and like getting sucked into that, it's appealing for a lot of people, right? Like just falling in line and like,
I don't know. I met a lot of people who got pretty rich through having a job and they have equity in the company and
startups and tech people, right?
true.
Salespeople?
Yeah, true that.
So, yeah.
Salespeople make a lot of money. I was looking at some people at our compound, like, these guys make some good money.
I know we know a lot
Nice.
of people that own like boring insurance companies. Sorry, they don't own the company. They're just like agents, but they have they built a
Built like a
steady-
book of business.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
they make a lot of money and it's great.
Yeah, you can make like what, low to mid 7 figures doing like AUM model or what?
You make that sound so low. Like,
No,
like make $1 million a year, whatever, poor people, like, fuck, dude, I'll take it,
No, like as like building over a career. Like you're like an, what do you call it? Intrapreneur. Like you work for a sales company, but you're basically your own boss and
Yeah.
you build that book. You can make several $1 million a year doing that.
I'll take it.
I'm not downplaying that by any stretch.
no.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Fuck. Am I getting a tattoo?
Hey, buy. Whoever's out there, buy.
Yeah, maybe this is our sell-a-thon is like, buy Bitcoin. Like, you've only got 1% to go.
So you've just made a ton of money right now.
During the show.
Yeah.
Well, I made whatever that bar is. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Every little bit helps.
It's like the PBS like fundraiser to get you a
Chris's yacht.
Get Chris a
let's
tattoo.
release some fake press releases about Bitcoin or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting taken over.
Who do you think Satoshi Nakamoto is?
Hal Finley.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's that?
That's
Hal Finley is
a
he
paralyzed guy that died.
he had what do you call the
Gehrig's-
water bucket thing?
ALS?
ALS. Yeah. Hal Finney. Yeah, is that how you say it? That's the best guess I have, unless it's somebody who's like really just was never a part of the cypherpunks and all that. But yeah, dude, this one was really good. What was this again? Balcones.
Yeah.
So they don't make this anymore.
It's a new formula. So this is the original formula, but they have a new one. So you can. This one's Chip Tate, the original founder of it.
Oh, okay.
But so basically, these investors kicked him out.
Is this from 2014?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Anyhow, yeah, the original formula. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Man, we're mixing it up.
Was it better than that one?
Oh, it's different, right? Like the notes in this one were different than the tannins in this one.
Your taste is so complex.
Yeah,
Chris.
dude,
Tell us more.
Oh man, I have a buddy who can do this shit with beer. Like he can be like, this IPA has the floral notes of blah 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 blah.
Oh,
Is he fat?
He's fatter than me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm getting up there.
Then you
I
can
would
trust him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a butcher or something. You gotta be able.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's see.
What other adventures do we talk about?
I feel like the good ones you can't really talk about sometimes.
Well, that's the thing. Like you should be able to. I'll tell you guys a story. I got extorted by the Honduran military one time. That was pretty dope.
Go on. Do tell.
So my buddy Lewis and I were scuba diving in Utila, Honduras, which is just a little island. We flew into San Pedro Sula, which at the time was the murder capital of the world, I think. And his family is from there. And we were driving around, went to a TGI Fridays, and there was like an armed guard with a fucking M16 out front. And he was like, yeah, my cousin got shot over there. My uncle got murdered over there. My grandpa lives over there. And I'm like, with the 20-foot walls and the barbed wire? Yeah, he's the president of this bank. And my cousin, a 14-year-old girl, just got kidnapped for 30 days. Like, and I'm like, why the fuck are we here? Like, so we went out to the island. We went scuba diving, came back because we had to get to Belize. We were going to the islands up there. And this was the longest travel day of my life, both literally and just like energy wise and like emotional bullshit. We hopped on a bus, then got in this taxi. The taxi pulls over. We're going to drive to Belize in a taxi, by the way. Taxi pulls over, picks up this lady with these big black bags and is like, yeah, we're going to throw her in the front seat. She'll share the fare or whatever. We're like, no, like, he's like, no, it's cool. It's fine. Drive another hour, pull up, come to a roadblock where the military's standing there with, all their stuff, and they wave us over, and they start. I don't speak Spanish. Do you guys speak Spanish?
A little bit. He's pretty good.
A little bit. Yeah.
Awesome.
So the guy's like screaming at the taxi driver, and I'm like, Lewis, what is he saying? Like, what is this? And he's like, they want to see the goods in the back. I'm like, does this lady have something she's not supposed to? Well, it sounds like it. Like he's telling me like we might be in trouble. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. This is how I go down? Like some lady with some black bags in the middle of Honduras. Pops the bags open, rips them open. It's a bunch of underwear. Apparently, you're not allowed to take underwear from Honduras into Guatemala and then Belize. Whatever. She was like smuggling clothes for whatever reason. And they were like, yeah, they want to see our passports. Okay, cool. We're Americans. Hey, don't kill us, And they took the taxi driver's license, and they were like, look, you got to go get some money or you're not going to get your license back. So we couldn't get through the border, and that just created like a knock-on effect of problems that took us like an extra day to get to where we were trying to go. But yeah, that was pretty terrifying, like thinking about what if there's cocaine in those bags or like something crazy, and like we're in the car with this lady. I've never like actually physically trembled like that, but yeah, that was pretty wild.
What if there was cocaine and underwear, and they were like, underwear? How dare you smuggle? So cocaine's fine.
Be like, clothing? No. I probably would have ran away and caught like a bullet in the back of the head or something.
Probably. Those places.
Sorry, I'm going to change story. Can I change story real quick?
Yeah, please.
How'd you go from asking your dad for money to being rich?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
So...
We can talk about underwear, though.
Yeah. Well, so I went broke twice in my life. So I was in high school. I had a mobile detailing business.
I saw the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like hustling, dude, like just working my ass off. Had my friends working for me. We were doing car shows, like all this cool stuff. Then I got into the finance world through a client of mine who owned a mortgage company. And he was like, man, you're a little hustler. Like, come work for me. I was like cleaning cars in the parking lot of their office. And I saw a guy who had like, this was what, 2000 or 2001. This guy had a screen up, and I saw like price charts going up and down. The guy was day trading futures. And I'm like, what? Hey, what's a future? Like, what is day trade? What, I saw like, Wall Street, and that's all I knew. And he was like, well, sit down, let me show you. And he's like, I bought here, and then he sold, and he made like $2,000 or something in 20 or 30 minutes. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I want to do that. And so I jumped into trading, head first, started learning everything I could, buying programs and software.
About like these infomercials?
Yeah, yeah. Back then it was like infomercials and like hotel seminar things. And
Really? You went to a hotel seminar?
oh yeah, dude, I was all into it. I went to a bunch of the real estate ones too, like Ron LeGrand. I was just like, if I'm going to be a loser, I might as well be a rich loser, because I couldn't do the college thing. Like, 19, I was like, man,
Good book title, Rich Loser.
dude. What was that the old one? Rich Jerk. You guys remember
Rich
that guy?
Jerk?
Rich
Oh, yeah.
Jerk. That guy made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I lost like all the money I built up through my mobile detailing business. I lost that in the markets, like my first year out of high school. And then I got hired by KB Home to be on the mortgage side. And so I was doing mortgages and then worked my way up there. And then when the mortgage market went to shit, I lost everything, made some bad investments. My first house that I built when I was 20 went from like, what was it, like 200 grand to like 350 to like 130. This was in Florida, in like the most volatile market. When that happened, I just lost everything. And I remember that was when I was like talking to my dad and being like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. He's like, well, let me give you some seed money. You go out there, hustle, build whatever you can. Just started making some investments, did a couple of real estate deals, partnered, did the whole no money down thing, started trading the markets, building up a little capital there, built some software, sold the software. And then within, I'd say like 2 or 3 years, made my first $1 million. And then I was like,
From what?
from software sales.
Oh.
And
Like
a couple of real estate deals.
You do this hand gesture.
Yeah. This is the magic thing. It's like a
You're trying
card
to get
trick.
fucking rich. You just
Yeah. Where are we at?
Pretty close.
18875.
Back.
All right.
Why is it still red?
Why is it still red?
Oh, we're over. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically taking a pause. So if you guys can buy some more, that'd be great.
Wait, after your story.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah. Okay. So long story short, sold software.
So hold
and
on, at
made
20
some
years
good
old, after you
investments.
went broke, in 2 to 3 years, you made $1 million.
Yeah.
Cash? Like $1 million liquid?
It was, I think it was like 1.5 gross. And then my margins were really high. And then basically was pushing that right back into the markets.
Is this trading software?
Trade, invest. So I was doing like, that's when I came up with the idea of like multiple capital buckets. I'm like, I'm going to have my active capital here, like my trading capital. If I lose that, I'm not going to go broke like I did in high school. So I'm like, this is high risk. This is business operating capital. And then this is like long-term investments, like stocks, real estate stuff that is better risk profile than what I did when I lost money on my primary residence. That was a hard lesson. And then I was like, let me try to build all of these capital buckets at the same time. And then some of them did better than others. I never blew out that trading account though. That was the thing, is like, I learned that, you were talking about your day trading lesson. I fucking think that is so important, man. Like, everybody should trade the markets and just learn how hard it is. Even if they never do it, just to know how they respond to price movements in a market. Yeah. And then from there, I was just like, fear was my main driver. It was like, I'm never going broke again. And then I got into like the mid-20s, like work hustle, where like I felt guilty if I did anything but work. And then, where are we, 10 years later? Lots changed since then. How have you guys changed since like your mid-20s, work hustle-wise?
Less hustle? I don't know.
Is it a certain level of comfort now that you guys are financially secure?
I think I was pretty lucky that I always kind of worked on stuff that I really liked. So like life and business were always kind of the same thing. Whenever we go hang out with friends, we talk about like a lot of business, stock kind of stuff, whatever. It was just always kind of like intertwined, which was really nice. I think that was a good way to do it. I like that.
So has your work I guess, hustle like stayed kind of constant, or have you gone back and forth or up or down? Or
Am I more hustle, less hustle?
I think you were just as much.
The same.
I don't think.
I don't think we've changed.
I think where you're learning how to run a business versus like be the business operator.
Yeah.
Like I think you're just like used to just do it all yourself, and then I think in your 30s you're like, oh, I don't have to do all the work myself, and I can actually make more money hiring other people.
I also think that the climate and tools have changed to suit my style of being a manager. So any employee or person that works with me, I'm just like, look, I'm not a good leader. I don't like leading. And so I try to find people that are very self-motivated that don't want a leader. And so I try to find people that are like that already. I'm just like, look, I don't want to tell you what to do. And so don't make me do that. And you do your thing. And if we need to, we'll course correct. And I think with like Slack and stuff like, because like, this is not like a very recent invention. Like it happened pretty recently, Slack and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Video chat was very easy for everyone. With that, I've become much more able to run like more of an organization rather than before. You couldn't really do that without hiring people in person. Like you're a much better leader than I am. I think one of our buddies, like Sam's kind of like a natural leader. I'm not a really good leader. I don't aspire to be a good leader. And so I think like now that the tools are there, I'm able to build something better. Like the world is adapted to the way I am.
The world's gotten dumber.
The world's caught up with you.
No, it's easier.
It's
I mean,
true.
I think in the 20s, like if you were in your 20s right now, work your ass off.
Yeah.
it.
Because what else are you gonna do?
No, there's like, I think especially in college, I'm like, you have no cost, you have all this time, you have a bunch of access to anybody. Like
Yeah.
even today, someone emailed me like, hey, I'm in college. And I deleted their email still, but they were in college and they're like, hey, I have a project. Do you think you could like look at? I was like, nah, delete it. But it took me a few more extra seconds but point being is that you have all this time. And so I think in your 20s, do whatever it takes. And in your 30s, I don't think we work less harder. I just think we're more, I just think we're more selective with our time.
Yeah.
Like I remember being in Facebook and I remember this distinctly. I was 24 years old and I saw the 30-year-olds who had families and kids that worked in the company and there wasn't that many of them. And I always was like, man, those guys are so dumb and they're so lazy. But what was really happening is they would come to work, they would do actual work and leave, and I would be there 12 hours fucking around for half and working only 6, but I would be working.
Right.
And I think in your 30s, the reality of time happens, and then you just become more aware of where you want to spend your time and how do you like pay people, frankly, to do things that you don't want to do as much anymore.
You know what's really interesting in India? I see a lot of like cousins and stuff working over there, and they have this very like machismo work culture that if your boss is still at the office, you damn well better be there. There is no excuse for you ever leave before your boss. And after he leaves, maybe you got to stay later than other people. It doesn't matter what you're doing. That's the funny part. They just want to stay. It's like just like the optics of it.
Isn't that a very Chinese thing too?
Yes.
Where it's like if you go out to a company dinner, you have to get as drunk as the boss, if not more drunk.
Yeah.
Like you have to basically keep up with them. Maybe it's Japanese too. Maybe this is the.
I think it's Japanese.
It's
Is it
a lot
Japanese?
of Asian culture
Yeah.
in general. Yeah, it's very hierarchical. You got to do what the boss does and more.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Whereas over here, it's just like it's very different. It's like if you, my friend that worked at Google a long time ago, this is kind of the early days of Google. He was always like, yeah, they don't care if you go on vacation so long as you do your work. It's just binary. Did you do the work or did you not?
Yeah.
Like that. So I like that style a lot more. And also, dude, I do these like live work sessions where if I'm lazy all day, I'll live work. And on Wednesdays, we do it with like our members and stuff. I get all my work done within the span of 2 hours every single time.
Because you got eyeballs on you?
Because people are seeing no one's actually looking at my screen, but I think they can see my screen.
Yeah.
And so I get all my work done, and it always makes me question. I'm like, what am I doing in a normal day then? Like, I have the same to-do list, but I finish it all in 2 hours on one day.
Yeah.
People are watching, but when I'm home alone, what the hell am I doing? It's kind of interesting.
You got weird fetishes. I think the big thing is like we're at the biggest thing is like we're living on this life once, on this planet once. And so being intentional about how we want to spend it. And I think a lot of people just give it away for free. Like, oh, yeah, I'll meet up with you for coffee. Yeah, I'll work at this company that sucks. But it's like, I think Neville's done a great job. I think I've worked towards it. Sounds like you're doing it too, which is like, how do I want to live? How do I want to spend this very short period of time?
Yeah, my anxiety brings that out in me is like the idea of like having a death day stresses me out because I don't want to think about that. I want to think that I'm going to live forever, but I know it's not going to happen.
That's your style, though.
Yeah.
My style is like I like knowing that. It comforts me.
I mean, it's probably more productive because it like makes you.
I don't think there's a better way.
Yeah.
I just think it's a way, and it's like the way I like it. But a lot of people I've talked to don't like the idea at all. They hate it. They think it's sad. I think it's happy.
I mean,
So
it's
suits me.
realistic. It's like you pick a day in your mid 80s when you're most likely to die.
Yeah, I mean, you will die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memento mori.
One,
Man.
I actually disagree with that.
What, that you will die?
Yeah. Well, one, it's like, oh, we'll never get to Mars or something like that. Like, I think when we start saying certain things that we're like, oh, that's just how it is, that's how things stay the way they are.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that we won't get to Mars or we won't die, but I think it's like maybe. At least we say that because there's then the possibility.
Well, if you did in the physical sense, like even if we expand human life by 2x, like you still will eventually die with the entropy of the universe,
Potentially.
blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So most likely you will die.
Well, and it's kind of like we don't know what we don't know. Like we might have our brains be able to hook up to a machine and actually
it's like
live
all
for
this
thousands
stuff.
of years.
There's all this stuff that we, and I
Yeah.
think the fact that people are just saying it because that's what we say, they're not ever going to challenge it and potentially fix it, or not that needs to be fixed, but solve it.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I always frequently tell, whenever I tell people that, they're always like, well, what if they expand life and you have a great life at 85? I'm like, this isn't a plan to actually kill myself at 85. It's more a mental framework to think that, like, most likely I have a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
And how do I fulfill that?
You're just like giving yourself like a reality.
November 17, 2067, Noah has a gun. He's like, oh, come on,
I know, that's what I
promise.
was imagining, of like guns blazing. Well, I'll tell you
Today's your day.
I'll tell you one thing on the same tip. I think I mentioned it to you, Neville. Like I did my will a few weeks ago, and it was very humbling. It was like, where's your money gonna go after you die? And then
Still in it, right?
you hit all my crypto.
Yeah.
I know, like, you know, honestly, I was a little annoyed today. I was like, God damn, he's gonna get a lot.
Let's go ride motorcycles with helmets right now.
Hey, enjoy the whiskey. But I actually, it was beautiful. That's what a therapist says, by the way. They always love the word that, and woo-woo people. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. It was beautiful because it also made me realize that, like, oh, when I die, if that happens, this is what happens to money. So why do I want to have all this money afterwards? Like, why? What can I do with it now? And how do I do all that cool stuff that I'm planning to do while I'm alive? And it was interesting. I wonder if everyone should create a will.
I did one. It was really interesting to think about it. You're in it. Yeah. So
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh man, what if we both died? Then that would.
Hold on, who gets a lot of money?
Huh?
This guy.
Oh, Chris.
Hey,
Yeah, you're like, come on.
I'll take your crypto. I'll put it to good use. Oh shit. It's
Damn.
green again.
Oh, we're getting close. Bye.
Yes.
What are you gonna say?
What was I going to talk about? We were talking about end of life.
End of life.
Yeah,
Wills.
and just like maximizing days. That's my thing. Like,
Oh, hell, that I like.
my anxiety drives me to want to maximize life, maximize days.
What is everyone else doing?
What do you mean?
Like the ones that don't have that.
Bro, they're just living, man.
I think
really?
just
They're just
going
living.
about like
But is that- okay,
going
wait.
with the
I
flow.
would
Like,
pose you though. Is that bad to just do nothing and live all day?
right. So the
that a bad
anxiety
thing?
that drives me, I wouldn't really want that for other people because it's uncomfortable. Like if I have friends from high school that I'm still really close with. They work like normal jobs, right? And they're happy, and like they don't have that anxiety of like wanting to do more. And I never I'm not like, yeah, you should be a entrepreneur or an investor. It's like, no, dude, you got a kid and a nice job and you're fucking happy. Like, stay there. Like, the weird things that drive me to want to build wealth and build businesses and do this weird stuff, like, it's not for everybody.
Yeah. So if they're happy, what's the point?
Yeah.
You're trying to optimize for happiness for the most part, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My thing is like the daily gratitude thing I do is like, how can I maximize that day? Like Ferris calls it what? Your perfect average day. Do you guys have an idea of what that looks like?
No, I think it's different. The idea of having like a perfect day, I don't like that. I've always tried to think of it, and it's just like I don't like it because dude, there's some days where I do nothing. I'm like,
Yeah.
that was a great day. There's some days where I did a lot. That was a great day.
Maybe you could have a category. Like, this is my ideal nothing day. This is my ideal travel day. This is my ideal.
I went through a phase where I tried to optimize each day with love, happiness, family, beauty, art, something like that. There was like
Yeah.
5 criteria, and it got exhausting. I didn't like it. And here's the other thing: humans adapt to whatever it is. So let's say you put a big statue of a chicken right there. We'd be like, whoa, that chicken's crazy. By day 3, we don't even notice it anymore, right?
yeah.
So if you try to fulfill your days with some of those things, it kind of like actually devalues it a little bit.
Yeah.
Is what I found.
Yes,
What's
I think both. I think it's being intentional about, hey, I know I enjoy these things in the day, so how do I do more of them? I think the two things I've observed, like this week, like today, I just had an off day. There was no reason. Like I slept well. Like I did a lot of my morning routines that I liked, but I just didn't fucking like today. And I think where I try to be, what I was trying to recognize, like on the walk over here, was like, don't make it a tragedy. So your day's not great. Don't be like, I think, myself, I'm like, oh my God, it's like, no, it's just one of the days. The other flip side of that though is like on Wednesday, I had an awesome day, but I don't think we're actually like, I think for myself and I think for everyone, just give yourself a little bit of credit. I think that's an awesome thing. So like, on Wednesday, it was like I did some stuff I was proud of myself, and I was like, hey man, good job today. And I don't think people tell themselves enough that they did a good job for not anybody else, just inside.
Right.
So I think everyone should be like give themselves a little credit each day.
Like feel like you won the day, or like
And let
sit
yourself
down
know that. Yeah. 'Cause
yeah.
I don't know how other people are. I know for me, I'm much harder on the hard days. Oh, you wasted today. Hey, you don't feel good today. And so I'm really practicing, not perfect, but practicing like, hey man, you did good today.
I also think that like if I hit 70% of days are good, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. They're not all going to be hits.
Well,
right?
so what is a not good day then?
Also, I think most of my best days that were random. Like you didn't expect something to happen, or you didn't plan it.
Totally.
Right?
Is it something outside of you that makes a good day, or is it like you're just happy with what you did that day?
I think it's both parts, but I want to highlight like when you told that story about Honduras, right? You didn't plan to get almost killed because of underwear. Yeah. No, but that made that story. But you didn't plan. Like, okay, I got to do something serendipitous today.
Yeah.
You just kind of like experienced it. I don't know. It's hard to control. I do think there's a value in being intentional about like what elements of my day make me feel really positive. If it's exercising, if it's sex or flirting, or if it's food or whatever that is.
It could change day to day.
It does change.
Yeah.
I think one thing my therapist said a while ago I thought was powerful is like just because you completed the checklist doesn't mean you're fulfilled. And I think there's something true to that. Just because you're like, hey, I did all these things that Tim Ferriss said was a perfect day, I don't feel happy.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting that some days do and some days don't. So just kind of be okay with it.
Damn. So if you sell the company and you've got however many hundreds of
He's a
millions of-
shareholder as well.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the
You guys
largest
like
one.
when you
Make
guys
money
cash
if you sell,
out.
if you die, if you
Yeah.
You hedged me.
exactly. This
Yeah,
is
Did you
great.
take an insurance policy out on him?
I have insurance.
Oh,
Can I get in on
I
that?
could kill him, take the insurance money, and get the will money.
And the insurance. Wow.
Dude. Oh, and then sell the company and get money.
Damn.
Dude, this makes me happy. Yeah, I think I figured out the key.
Dude, you just had a great
The
day.
happy day.
Perfect day.
There you go. If you get
So-
a Bitcoin tattoo, that'd be the even.
Oh
craziest
my
thing.
God, that
That
finish
would
the day.
make it. That would
Come on down.
win the day.
Lower.
Come on, people.
Yeah.
Keep buying, yo.
Come on. Someone put $100 million in
Yeah.
this thing.
Okay, so when you kill him and you take control of the
Yeah,
company,
dude, tell me more about this.
and you take his will money and his Bitcoin, will that $1 billion make your life different than it is today?
Okay, would it make it different?
Yeah, like your average
Yeah,
day.
I mean, I would fly on a private jet rather than with you losers on Spirit Airlines. I probably, I don't really care about cars that much anymore. I used to when I was a kid. Maybe
Yeah.
live in a nicer place or something like that.
Right,
But
right.
Other than that, I don't know that it would change
like
all that much.
I mean, like your day from the time you wake up to when you go to bed, the shit in
interesting.
between there, would that be different?
I already know what would happen if I made super fuck you money.
How much is that, by the way?
Yeah, how much is fuck you money?
I think
for you?
fuck you money is 10 million liquid. Super fuck you money would be 100 million plus. Ultra would be $1 billion, to where it's like it'd be almost be impossible to.
You
ever
have
go
someone
broke.
else say fuck you for you.
That's a good one. Nice. Would I change? I think I know what I would do. I would do what I did before, which was I would probably just go back to my normal blog, either call it something else or still nevblog.com.
Yeah.
I would get really obsessed with the topic for like 2 weeks, write an article about it, and then get sick of that topic, and then write another one about it.
Yeah.
Or nowadays, maybe make a video about it or something like that. I think that's what I would do until I die.
So you're very close today.
I think I
to
already do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Would you-
this
I
is
think that's
literally
what's
what I
inspiring
do.
about Neville, and a great thing for people that are watching, and myself. That's what I learned a lot from you, because I think your days are
It's kind of like what I
they're
want to
fuck
do.
yous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think his days really like, because I know the only thing I think there's minor things like you might have someone cook your meal, or you might have a nicer house, but like the actual majority of the time from morning till night, probably pretty similar.
Yeah,
I
probably
think that's
pretty similar.
inspiring.
Yeah.
So what about you though? Because are you still CEO of Sumo Group, or
Technically, yeah, but I look at myself more as like chairperson,
Yeah.
or chief.
somebody's doing ops, or
Yeah, so Eamon, I would say, is the CEO of the business.
Okay.
So I'm more of, I call myself the chief sumo. I would say not much. I'd still complain. I mean, I'd be like, 100 million? Why not 105?
Yeah, after
Yeah.
39 years, it ain't gonna change.
It's not, dude. It's it's hard to change some of these things.
You got better though.
I'm working through. I think that life is a practice. I think that's what
Yeah.
I like to think about. Like when woo-woo people say practice, I never got it until like, oh, it's not. You don't have to be perfect. You just work on it.
yeah, it's activity. It's a action. Yeah.
I think. I mean, my day to day now, I don't have to work anymore. Like I don't have to work anymore the rest of my life. Like very fortunately.
Yeah.
So I don't. I think work wise, like I enjoy the YouTube stuff. I enjoy who I get to meet. I enjoy it kind of puts us in places like this.
Yeah.
I enjoy being part of tech world. I love the stuff that our company does.
What would you do if you had like ultra super fuck you money? Billions and billions, and you just never have to truly work or.
I mean, I think you know me. I'm similar, like when I was talking about earlier in the day, like my mom. I get restless. Like
I would be worried about you actually.
Would you really?
I think so. Like if you had nothing to do, I'd actually be worried about you.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I think guys like us, like,
I don't think you would. By the way, I think you fill your days with so many activities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
that I don't think I have to worry about that. But if you had nothing to do, I'd be like, this is not gonna be good.
It's gonna end it.
Yeah.
no, I mean, what is there? Like, that's the thing. Like, more money doesn't equate to a exponentially easier life, right? Like, we already have a lot of shit that's easy.
I bet we're about the same amount of ratio of happiness to sadness.
Yeah.
All of us by the time we were like, I don't know, 20, 19, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
I bet you were a pretty happy guy for the most part.
Oh shit! It's going back up. Fuck.
Hey,
yes.
we're
There we
close.
go.
Yeah.
Like you complain about stuff and you're worried about the same as when I met you.
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Yeah. And I'm probably like the same level.
I think that's it. That's my dream for everyone. Is like, how do you just have the life, whether you have a lot of money or not a lot of money, and you get to do the life you want to live?
Dude, the postal guy, 8th Street in Congress. I was mailing something a long time ago. I was mailing a Nev box. Remember when I was making those? I was mailing an international Nev box. And the guy, he was just like, after we completed the transaction, we had like a little pleasant chat. He was like, have a great day. It's a choice. And I always remember that. I was like, damn, that was good.
Damn. No, that is good.
Have a great day. It's a choice.
Can be deliberate.
That is a wonderful quote. I don't know who said that originally, but postal guy on 8th and Congress. Thank you.
Damn.
That's almost there.
When-
So one thing I'm curious for you: why don't you buy a house? Why do you live in an apartment?
So I have kind of I agree with Ramit on the whole house thing. So and correct me if I'm wrong, but Ramit Sethi, I will teach you to be rich. That guy, his idea is, what is it? It's flexibility. And then there's a cost benefit analysis, right? So like we pay X dollars a month to live in a really dope spot downtown. I could buy, if I bought a condo, say it was like $3 million, you know, and I run the math on something like that versus what I pay now, like the numbers just don't make sense, and I get optionality. So I don't want to buy a place that expensive and then have to pay taxes and insurance while I'm traveling for an extended period of time. Where like in 2014, we packed up, we traveled the world for a year. We just put our shit in storage and went, you know, and then we came back and it was like, what do you want to do? I like that flexibility. Here in Austin, you could make an argument that like, oh man, it is a good investment buying a house because of appreciation, but our property tax prices are really high as well. So you have to factor in, like, there's real hard costs that going into living either way, if you rent or buy.
So how do you not have FOMO? How do you,
Of what?
just not like
I'm
like, oh, I should buy this. I got to get more money.
Well,
I
most
gotta
people
make
think of
great.
it, they're trying to get rich. He's already rich. Like,
I know, but
what's
how
the
do you
point of
like? I
buying a
just
house?
can't let go sometimes. Like that's what I'm kind of curious.
FOMO in real estate?
Yeah, like oh, people are buying real estate and they're getting rich on it, and I should be buying it too.
Dude, are you kidding me? Fucking real estate goes up 10% a year or less. What has Bitcoin done? Like I've made more money in Bitcoin than I'll ever make buying any real estate. Like, so the FOMO for me is gone. And I focus on the mental side of investing every day. Like that's my obsession. So like I got over that a long time ago, dude. I remember when you put out your,
I'm gonna get more of these.
yeah, bro, go for it.
Oh, sweet. Can you grab it? Yes, please.
Anything else?
No, all good. Oh, maybe grab some ice cubes.
Thanks, man. There's also waters here too, Nev.
Oh yeah, we got some there, but those are maybe warm by
How long
now.
are we doing the show till?
I don't know. We can wrap it up.
Are people still
anytime.
here?
Yeah.
Are you guys still watching? I wanted to see that. I love seeing the comments. You mind if we like interact with the commenters?
Yeah, yeah. You guys have any questions? So for anybody that came in late, Noah Kagan, founder of AppSumo, super cool. Neville, who's a ghost right now, one of the most sought after copywriters in the world. And then you guys know me. Yeah, if you guys have questions, throw them in there.
Yeah. Why don't we like talk to some of the audience people?
Yeah, dude. Let's do
I'm
it.
just telling some of the.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours. I was trying to give this time to see if Bitcoin
No,
was
this is
going to hit
awesome,
19K. I don't know if they can do it. Keep buying.
All right. So, oh no, I'm just watching the comments. I love seeing the comments interacting.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I think that's something. Everyone has different. So I'm looking for the comments. That's why I look about. Like, I have. It's funny. I make all this money from the company. Like, you make your money on Bitcoin. So you're like, oh, I'm happy with this. But I don't know, man. Like, it's tough. I was walking down here and there's a building I tried to buy. Someone actually outbid. I overbid. Someone outbid me. And I'm like, oh, that building I should have.
What kind of building was it?
Just an office space for the next few years for the company to have like a recording studio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like the amount of guilt, not guilt, but like regret is just it's heavy on me. So I'm kind
The
of
fact that you didn't get the property.
yeah,
it
or
weighs
like
on you?
or I didn't get this house or something. I don't know, man. Like or doubt or that's why I'm curious how other people kind of experience it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, FOMO's real in the markets. I mean, I remember back in 2017, Forbes or one of the article people came out with an article saying everybody's getting hilariously rich on Bitcoin except you. Like, that was the attitude. And dude, oh my God, I've never gotten so much hate from people I actually knew because they knew what was happening. And like, I could see in their eyes, I'm like, that's FOMO. That's like jealousy. That's all these emotions that come out when you see markets moving and you're not participating, right? Like, markets and investing and, you know, assets, it just makes people do weird shit, right? It makes them behave differently. And so your thing is like, I wanted that building. I didn't get it. And now I have a negative reaction to that. Was it the fact that you didn't get it for the company, or was it the fact that you didn't get it for future appreciation?
Yeah, like, oh, this is such good value. It's like good place, stuff like that.
Gotcha. So
How do you feel like you're not missing out? Because
I call it JOMO, the joy of missing out. I reverse it. And I say, I am happy to pass on this opportunity. Because, dude, I get pitched every fucking day of my life. Somebody comes to me with a startup idea or a, hey, here's this new coin you got to invest in or whatever. And, like, you don't have to swing at every pitch. You don't have to catch every opportunity. Thanks, fellas.
No worries.
Got some fresh cubes coming in.
Fresh cubes.
dude, there's a shit ton of people watching.
Who
I'm
wants
looking at the
coldest one?
comments. You can give it to him.
Coldest one.
Oh, here, you guys are good. I'm just going to drink the booze.
So did the ratings go up when I left? I hope so.
Yeah, our minority viewers are like.
Yeah.
How do you see comments on these?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Are you
now?
watching the live?
Yeah, I'm watching the live stream. I like.
Yeah.
I saw him earlier.
Oh yeah. So is the economy gonna crash?
Oh, there's all the people, dude. Hold on, can we just talk to the commenters for a moment? I know it's your- it's your show, dude.
Yeah, do you want to ask
All right,
questions? to them?
no, Mikhail, Nanobite, Crypto Signals, Chris is the GOAT. Yeah, hey, really quickly, for all of you guys that are watching, it looks like there's 87 gorgeous viewers. Can you guys all tell us how much you like Chris and how he's impacted your life? I'd love to, hold on, I'd love to hear like how much you've enjoyed his show or his podcast or his courses. If you guys can leave some comments below.
Thanks, no.
The Jomo, dude, Jomo was dope. Eric Swanson, gonna use that. The Joy, I like that, dude.
Joy of missing
That
out.
was a big dick call
Yeah.
right there.
Sometimes you just got to let it go, you know?
Jomo.
Anton Nicola. So we'll talk about some of your guys' questions, but some of the things that why Chris has been helpful to you or why he's benefited your life.
Hawaiian shirt sales have gone up exponentially ever since.
Whiskey sales.
My half, what do you call this? Towel?
yeah.
Half towel, half shirt.
Oh shit, Brad Mills. Brad Mills is an old school dude.
Yeah, Brad Mills is an old school OG in the crypto space.
Is he really?
Yeah. How do you know Brad?
I know Brad from this whole like internet marketing world.
Oh, okay.
That we're all in. Trade less, profit more. Mikkel said you're great. Nicholas Gross said I love learning about FIRE.
Fire.
Financial
Financial
Oh, yeah.
independence, which I earlier, yeah.
I was trying to think of a funny acronym, like funny joke on that.
Farting in restrooms. I don't know. Farting in restrooms everywhere.
Dude, so MS, you missed out on his BTC advice back in 2014. So you actually have JOMO right now. You joy of missing.
Way missing up. Did you make that up? That's pretty good.
I don't know if I made it up. I'm trying to remember.
claim
Our
it,
community is real big on that though, because like we have a lot of guys and ladies that come in, and they're like, "Hey, I know Bitcoin's up 1,000%, but like I still want to make money too." And it's like, well, timing matters, and you have to learn how to have JOMO and not get jealous when you see other people making a lot of money, and wait for the best time, basically.
When did you tell people to buy crypto? Like, when was the first public time that you told someone to buy a Bitcoin?
I first heard of Bitcoin in 2011.
Tell me you were in like a bathroom or something.
It was an email. It was a couple of emails. And I thought it was, this is how fucking stupid I was at the time. I was so obsessed with day trading that like I looked at it for a split second and I was like, Bitcoin, and I Googled it real quick and I was like, Oh, it's a penny stock. I thought it was a penny stock that traded on the pink sheets and shit. Blew it off, got another email, blew it off. It took me 2 years. It wasn't until like the spring of 2013 that I actually was like, oh, it didn't go away yet? What is this? Spent 6 months like really trying to learn everything I could. Then I think it was November 2013, I wrote my first blog post about Bitcoin, and it was actually bearish. It was negative on Bitcoin because it had just gone from 100 to 900. And I was like, guys, be careful, because I was getting all these emails from people that were like, hey, Chris, should I buy Bitcoin? What's the deal? What do you think of it? And I'm like, I think it's legit. I'm in on it. I'm investing. I haven't talked about it publicly, but be careful up here. And sure enough, over the next year, it just went down, 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 down. And I got all the messages from people that are like, I actually bought the top and then I sold the bottom. And then we sent a trade alert at $188. And I'm like, I am fucking going in, man. And that was when I was hooked. I stopped day trading. I stopped all my other shit. And I'm like, I'm either going to go broke or I'm going to be really, really rich.
Do you ever pay for stuff with Bitcoin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you going with that?
Yeah.
Well, such as?
So I have like mobile wallets that I keep like, you know, like wallet money, like a few $100 or whatever, right? And like it could be a SaaS product, it could be, you know, sending money to friends and family, it could be just stupid things here and there. But I won't take the Bitcoin I have and buy something really expensive with it. Like I'll use dollars for that. Like,
Yeah, because you think Bitcoin will go up in comparison.
yeah. And if I do spend a lot of Bitcoin on something, I'll replenish that.
Well, I mean, I did a bunch of. I follow Roger Ver. I know it's a very controversial opinion in this word. You know,
Yeah.
Roger Ver, he was in Bitcoin
I know
Billionaires.
of him. Yeah.
And I'd followed him a lot longer because I heard of him before, and he's a character. But one interesting thing I did do his little hunt. He had a $100 challenge or something where you transfer $100 of Bitcoin to another wallet,
Yeah.
and $100 of Bitcoin cash to another wallet, and see the difference.
Yeah.
And it was quite dramatic. It actually opened my eyes to how bad the transactions on Bitcoin were at some point, or at least at that point in history. And so I transferred $100 to a wallet, and it cost me like something like $13 or $30, some
Yeah.
like astronomical sum. And I was like, wait, I just lost $30
Yeah.
to send $100. That's worse than PayPal or whatever we have.
For sure, yeah.
And then I transferred on Bitcoin Cash, and it was essentially instantaneous. The second my thumb registered on the phone, it went through.
Yeah.
And the fee was 0.003 cents
Yeah.
or something like that, crazy like that.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see that, because hopefully the future of Bitcoin is like that, and it can transact that fast and that easy. And it's kind of cool to see a version of it where it works so well. I'm not saying that one will pick up or anything. It's just like, it was cool to see the future like that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of projects that are competing for transaction time and transaction costs, like fees to actually send money. But there's a trade-off with that, centralization and security. Even Ethereum right now is having issues where, you know, it used to be super cheap to send it around, and now it's like a few bucks or more for transactions. And so that's where like Bitcoin is now kind of taking on the role of more of a store of value, more so than, you know, coffee money. Yeah. Like you can, it's
That makes
worth
me
it.
a little. I don't like it when people say that, because I'm like, it should also be a way to trade your money.
Right.
Dude, the people that are in the audience and the commenters, how many people actually have crypto? I'm curious to see if the people
Probably
that are
all
watching
of
live.
them.
All.
Yeah.
Every single person here, put a 1 in the comment if you actually own crypto, and put your key.
Put your wallet number. Yeah.
Your private keys.
Is that
and your,
that's what I need, right?
yeah, totally. Your private keys, your social, your login.
Hold on, so how do you actually get money to buy more crypto though? Because you're an investor. So is it from selling your course?
Yeah, so we have a community, and people are a part of that. And I take most of the revenue that I generate from that, from affiliate stuff, from basically any source that I get. I try to put 50% of my net income into investments.
God, that's so, dude, you're so impressive.
No,
I'm like
no,
such
but-
a wussy.
No. This is where I want to stop, because you are doing something that is very, very similar but different, which
Dude,
is
all these people have crypto.
you're actually building a real business. Like, you're building a sellable business that has an enterprise value of hundreds of millions of dollars. Like,
hundreds of millions, not like. Don't give us too much credit.
you're building a real
An
fucking
asset,
business.
an
Yeah.
asset.
I have lifestyle businesses and lifestyle income. I might make a few $1,000,000 a year off of whatever, but like to have an exit of hundreds of millions of dollars, like that's different. Like I get my alpha, I get my returns and stuff like this. You get it off of your business.
Well, two things.
Neville
One,
gets both.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. Like growing up in Silicon Valley, I've had a very interesting career. I've been blessed with my career where I got to be around, like, work with Zuckerberg and Peter Thiel and Sean Parker and the elite. But I also
Fucking
get to
wild.
come to Texas and meet normal people.
Yeah.
Right. Like
You get to hang out with us schlubs.
No, not even that. But just people that are the ambitions are different.
Yeah.
And I think lifestyle business used to be something that was a bad word. Like when I was in Silicon Valley, like for 30 years of my life, it was like, oh, you're doing a lifestyle business with AppSumo. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm only living one life. So I don't think it's bad. You could live a...
Do you consider AppSumo a lifestyle business?
I think it's very subjective what that means. So someone
Yeah.
today is like, oh, Bill Gurley said if you're not... Bill Gurley, who is a very famous investor from Benchmark, he did Uber and some other companies. He has a great book, E-Boys. He was like, going IPO is like going from college football to NFL. Like that's what the professional companies do. And I was like, well, MailChimp does $1 billion a year in revenue. And that's not professional?
Right. Yeah.
So I think lifestyle should be, everyone needs to decide what kind of, like Neville woke up at 1:30. And I think, you know what? You can run $1 billion company waking up at 1:30. And so I just think it's deciding what kind of life we each want and being okay ignoring what everyone is telling us what kind of life we have to have.
Yeah.
Jomo.
Dude.
Joe Mo.
Cheers to that.
Hey, Joe Mo.
Joe Mo,
Dude,
baby.
hey, someone make some t-shirts.
Hell yeah.
Dude, a lot of crypto holders, man, in your audience. Wow, they really all have crypto.
They're all...
I feel like that's why they're all following
Is there
him,
any...
yeah.
Okay, by the way, is there any stock tips y'all have? I love buying stock
We
tips.
gotta
from
get
people that-
Travis in
Dude,
here.
Noah loves bad stock
Yeah,
tips.
if you have
Yes.
any stocks that
He'll
you
buy
want me to
whatever.
buy that are
I hear
not gonna
Tesla
go...
is a good value up here.
All right, I'm buying it.
Oh, shit. You know what's funny?
If
It
you
could
have any
just keep
bad stock
going.
tips, let me know.
Yeah. Dude, Nikki, by the way, has been crushing the game. This was her most recent breakout. Switchback Energy, SBE. So this is actually an EV play. So they own actually a bunch of the EV stations in Austin, the charging stations for electric vehicles. Look at this shit. Nikki was buying through here in like the low teens. So there are great plays right now in the markets.
All right, these guys are telling me to buy stocks.
All right, let's see some stocks.
BLNK.
Can I tell you my first long-term holding success story?
Yes.
So when I went in my first day trading phase, I think I was a sophomore or something. I was running House of Rave. I ran a rave company. I sold rave stuff online in college.
Yes.
And so I had some disposable income that I could put in the stock market, which was unusual for a college student back then, for sure.
Yeah.
And I was trying to day trade, and I'd wake up when the bell rang, and I watched that
Wait,
shit
you
on
woke
TV.
up at the bell ring or
so
before?
meaning I was an hour behind New York, so it was like super early for me. So it was like 6, 7 a.m., whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever the time was. It was very early for me. I wake up, I watch the thing. I had dual monitors going with like all that shit on it and stuff like that. It was all the stress of it going up and down every single day. You watch the news. One day it's bad. One day it's good. One day the United States is going to be the top country in the world forever. The next day it's going to break apart. It's just like up and down, up and down. So I was doing all this stuff, and at the end of a period of time, I had to do some taxes. And I barely made any money, maybe like 20%. Keep in mind, I was trading small amounts, so it wasn't that much money. I was like, I could have worked at McDonald's and made more money than this. And I had a lot of stress about it, and as well as going to college and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
So then I started discovering Warren Buffett. And I started reading the Berkshire Hathaway
Who?
letters.
Sorry, never
Warren
heard of
Buffett,
him.
never heard of him. Some
Yeah.
guy. So I started watching his stuff, whatever I could find on the internet, real early days of video. You
Yeah,
saw real
pre-YouTube shit.
Yeah. I was watching TV interviews with him. I read all the books about him. And I was like, wait a second, this guy's super rich. He just holds for a long time, doesn't do anything. And he always talked about that, like, not doing anything was the hard part. And so I started researching stuff. Around that time, Enron, the big company that went bust, and I grew up in Houston, so like Enron was obviously a big deal. There was another company called Dynegy that was involved in it. Not a really well-known company. They just operate the pipelines that trade natural gas and stuff like that. So they got a $2 billion fine, and their stock went from something like $30 to like 30 cents, something crazy, right? It was a very dramatic fall off, and you're like, okay, Enron happened here. They got a fine. They went there. Everyone thought they're going to go out of business. So I would read the Wall Street Journal, all these different things about it. And they're like, Dynegy is also going to be the next company to crumble because of it, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, damn, they're just going to go out of business. I shouldn't buy this stock. So I did what Warren Buffett said. I read their reports. So I printed out their reports at my college at UT, and I started reading them. And I was like, wait a second. They were in like one guy or something. I forgot the details, but like one guy was involved in some weird shady stuff that to pay a $2 billion fine, that they were taking their $600 million in profit from every quarter and aggressively pouring it all into paying off that fine. So I was like, wait, I mean, I'm no math genius here, but that means in under a year, they're going to pay off all this debt.
Yeah.
They're going to go back to making $600 million every 3 months, right? And everyone's like, no, they're going to go out of business. I'm like, but I'm reading it right here that they're going to be profitable by this date. Like, how is this not working?
Yeah.
So I put what I thought was a significant sum of money, a few $1,000s, into that stock. I was in a geology class.
Hey.
When I checked it on my Toshiba Portage laptop, and that shit went up like 12x. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't do anything. I just read this report for one day, and I kept rereading it, thinking like, what am I missing? Why does the news say this is bad? Why are they saying it's going to go bankrupt when I know for a fact that's not what's happening?
Yep.
And sure enough, I was like, holy shit. If you just take the time to like research these things, you can kind of like see behind the matrix.
Dude, everybody fucking looks at Wall Street as like they've got all the answers. They know what's going to happen.
It's not Wall Street. It's like CNBC. And I was involved in journalism back then, writing for my school newspaper. I knew the people that were writing these things, and they're idiots. They're idiots too, and they're telling me, and they're my age.
Yeah.
I was like, those people are the ones reporting for these newspapers?
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to that at all.
Dude, the world has been flipped upside down. Just recently have all the billionaires started coming out going, okay, Bitcoin's here to stay. We're investing. Like Paul Tudor Jones, like all the dominoes are falling. The point being, like, you can be so right seeing something so simple and make so much money where like all these Wall Street boys are just like not even paying attention.
Or it's just like, I think the media outlets and the pundits talking about it.
Well,
is
but
kind of where you hear about
more
it from.
importantly, the investors too. Like the media is one thing, but like all these guys that you think are going to front run that and see the same thing that you see, they don't fucking see it.
Well, they also are not public. Like I bet there's a lot of investors behind the scenes that made money on that trade.
Well, sure, but the reason it was profitable is because you found it before everybody else. If all of Wall Street woke up and went, "Oh yeah, that's easy," then there would have been no gain. There would have been no alpha. There would have been no 12x. But you found it before everybody else because you did the work. And sometimes the work is fucking easy.
It completely changed. I mean, I think that was a rare trade that like that such a big event happened and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was like, oh, I barely did any work. I made way more money than I ever have combined with all the other stuff. It was just
trade less, profit more, bro.
So I guess what you do, I guess you call it swing trading.
Swing trading, position trading, yeah.
That's like
trade less, profit more
for a few weeks or something.
Yeah,
like that.
So this is an example on SBE here. It's like Nikki was buying here back in October, and now the trade is up. What? 70, 80, it was up almost a double as of today, right? So we look for these opportunities where we're not trying to profit off of the short-term randomness. We're trying to catch stories earlier before everybody catches on and let the masses drive price higher. That's how you make, if you want to make a fuck ton of money in the markets, that's how you do it. Day trading isn't it. There's a reason Wall Street doesn't have any day trading floors anymore. They've all been fucking fired.
Really?
Because there's no edge. Yes.
Don't they,
It's
what about
all
the high frequency trade?
Well, no, so that's it. It's algorithms. If you don't have PhDs and mathematicians and fucking microwave technology to get you there, you can't compete on a day trading level in and out. It's gone. It's been arbitraged away. You cannot compete. The way that you can compete is this stuff: multi-week, multi-month position holds, finding stories before everybody else
Can I
catches
just give you
on.
my money?
Fuck yeah, let's go.
No, I'm not. Just
I'm not
giving
going to invest it. I'm going to take it.
No, I know. Here's the thing. I think what everyone should try to figure out what they're going to be excellent at.
Yeah.
Sometimes I worry when I see I'm looking at the comments on your channel and stuff like that. I think people are like, this is how I'm going to get rich.
Yeah.
Like I'll just put it in, it goes up. Chris said it's like look, it's a chart like that.
Yeah.
But it's like I'd rather find the people like you who are thinking about it all the time. So why don't you guys take people's money and then go do it?
Oh, that's a great question. So I have buddies that have been in that world. My current business partner, Travis DeVitt, he was in that world. He took a hedge fund from 100 million to over $1 billion in assets and did it through great performance. I don't think I would do well managing other people's money because then I have that pressure of like, I have to perform for them. I've never done it, so I don't know. I just don't want that pressure. You know, talking about like lifestyle design and all this stuff, like, could I make an extra $1 billion over my lifetime managing other people's money? Maybe. Do I want that pressure? Nah. I just don't want to do it.
Nikki's like through the door. Do it.
She's doing it for me. She's a better investor than I am.
Do you guys publish everything you guys trade?
Yeah, I publish all my trade
the
alerts.
community?
Yeah.
And so how has the performance been over the past years?
Fucking phenomenal. I mean, I literally wrote that book and went on a speaking tour in 2015 when Bitcoin was in between 100 and 200. And I was like, look, guys, like, I know I'm from the day trading world. I know I'm from the futures world, but this shit is the future. And I got laughed. I got like destroyed in the trading community. People are like, this fucking idiot, this Bitcoin scam. I'm like, all right.
What's the average age of your audience? Are they young, old?
So the only thing I can tell you is like that I actually know is like from the physical in-person events, it's kind of all over the board, like from early 20s to like late 60s. I would say the average age, most people probably look like us, like
30s.
Dude, honestly,
40s.
when I talk to some really young people about stuff, I feel like I'm not smarter than them, but I feel like having age on them is kind of cool. We've been through 2 recessions where we actually had skin in the game, right?
Yeah.
So if you were like 8 years old and you went through a recession, like you didn't know it because you didn't have money, you weren't earning income,
Yeah.
you didn't pay taxes, it didn't matter to you. But I went through 1999, so the downturn then. I was in high school or college around that time, and I actually owned a business. So it did matter. And then in 2008, there was another financial downturn.
Yeah.
And it's been like crazy to watch them. And the when everything's in a bubble and everything's good for a long time, the people's attitude towards stuff is really interesting to watch. Where like everything's going to go up, everyone's awesome. You just put money here, it goes up, like that kind of stuff. And then like shit changes.
Yeah.
And then it's like the opposite. People are like, oh, it's so stupid that like whenever the joke was like whenever your taxi cab driver is giving you stock tips, it's like time to sell.
Yeah.
And
That's what happened with Bitcoin in 2017.
Well, it's
Everybody
also
was,
been interesting to watch like family friends that we know with very large businesses and stuff. They
Yeah.
tend to sell very early because they're like, look, can't predict a bubble, but when
Yeah.
someone offers me 5x what I paid for an apartment complex or something like that, you take that.
Yeah.
You take it.
Yeah.
You don't wait for the top because it takes 9 months maybe to buy one of these things or sell one of these things. So it's like, I don't know. There's something interesting about going through those bubbles and watching that.
Yeah. How do
Speaking
you
of,
how do you
what-
think about it?
But when do you think of this as a bubble? Do you think of it as a collapse imminent?
Ooh, that's the $100 trillion question, right?
No. I mean, I think the point is that you try to do things that you can control. I think that's the part that a lot of these people miss out on. Like, you can get rich. Can you get rich on crypto? Yeah. Is it likely? No. But unless you're spending all day going into this world and being a professional.
Yeah.
But the reality is most people are amateurs. They're watching a little bit of your stuff. They're joining your community, which is probably helpful.
Yeah.
They put a little bit in. They may or may not. It's more of a gamble versus an intentionality. And it's like, I think it's
Yeah.
like with my risk tolerance, I don't want risky things.
So, but if they have a extra 5,000 laying around that they won't cry if they lose,
Then
Well,
I guess
well,
it's a totally
then they can
different
risk-
story.
So let me add some color to. I get what you're saying, and I agree. The mass majority of people are like that. They are amateurs. That's why the way I position if you even want to call it marketing, I don't even really market our stuff. And I'm kind of like the hype guy. Like if you look at all the other crypto YouTubers, they are dramatically different than what I do. A lot of them are getting more views and more subs than me and shit like that now. But like I know the type of person I want to attract. And it is the professional. Like if you hear our classes and our events and shit, it's not hypey, get rich quick, just buy and hold and all this bullshit. It's like getting down to like what actually makes a successful investor. Like we get down to the mental shit and like we attract people that have real capital. And even the like people that don't have a lot of capital, it's guys like us in our 20s that really want to be professionals in it. So
That's interesting. So thinking of as Bitcoin traders as one of the new professions.
yeah.
That's kind of
like YouTuber,
Like a YouTuber,
profession
which
10 years ago.
yeah.
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 Like we're hiring a YouTube thumbnail designer.
Like
as
a full-time job?
Yeah.
No shit.
What I'm just saying, in the same way, I guess I never really thought of it, but yeah, you could.
I think
be-
I wrote a tweet about that. I was just like, who
That
would
was
have
cool.
thought like 5 years
That
ago
was cool.
YouTube thumbnail designer would be a profession?
But I think that's the same thing. Like stock trader now, if you go to a Hanukkah dinner, which is what we all do. Okay, whatever, Thanksgiving or wherever you guys are in the world, you would say, yeah, my cousin Joe, he's a stock trader. everyone's like, yeah. But if you said, oh, he's a Bitcoin trader, they'd be like, he's a Bitcoin trader.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never really realized, like, but it is a similar potential type of thing.
It's actually better over here because retail got the edge on Wall Street. Like, yeah, retail got the edge. So that public narrative and that public perception is what makes this so much more profitable.
All right, we got some
Let's
audience
see some questions.
Brad Mills,
I got to pull back up Bitcoin.
He said the underwear that you sent me, no, I'm don't wear the underwear you sent me from another guy. This guy's like, hey, do you still wear the underwear I sent you?
Wait, what did he send you?
He sent me underwear a while ago.
Fuck, guys, I think I'm going to have to get a tattoo.
How are the guests handling the current economy? I mean, the economy's been
How are
awesome.
you guys?
It's fucking awesome.
Can you guys, would it be weird if I went and took a leak real quick?
take a leak?
No.
Man.
All
right.
We'll just take over the show.
Talk about this real quick.
How's the
So we need to
economy?
get more users. As soon as you leave, we get more. Yeah.
All
How's
right,
the economy
so
been for you?
How's the economy been for all you guys out there? How's it been for you?
Honestly, it's like almost too easy in certain things where it's just like I rarely check a portfolio, but right now with so much hype, every once in a while I take a glance at it and I'm like, this is getting too easy. It makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit too easy right now.
Totally.
Like everything's good, and I'm just like, didn't we like lose all these jobs and shit? Like,
Yeah, aren't
is
people
this gonna
dying?
have aren't we like locked down and like commerce
Isn't
can't
the
happen?
opposite of this stuff? Shouldn't it be? I get
It should be.
Yeah.
But then again, I also learned a thing with age. Not to view these macro problems with logic. long run the logic wins, right? If we lose jobs, stuff goes
that
down.
sounds how to look at relationships.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not logical.
Yeah. But with lockdowns and stuff like that, you could just like look at the data and be like, we shouldn't do that. But you just know that with all the popular people saying we should get locked down, we're probably going to go into lockdown. So just expect that. So I think viewing it like that, I think there's definitely going to be some sort of crash. Like, wouldn't there? Like, we're losing all this revenue
have
and
no fucking
all this
idea.
stuff. Like, shouldn't it be bad eventually? I think it's going to be localized. Like the housing crash in 2008, it was localized. Certain areas like Las Vegas where people were buying 10 houses
Arizona.
and no one's living in them, that deserved to be a bubble. Whereas like, let's say outside the outskirts of Austin didn't really crash. So I don't know. I think it's like eventually this will catch up. What do you think? You have a lot of rich friends. What are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. One thing that Chris said earlier that I really resonated with. Hey, Chris, was that I think we looked to certain people and we're like, oh, Wall Street must know, which is not necessarily true. I think what's interesting is I'm almost 40. I've never experienced a recession. I think that's the part that people kind of think that they have to be a part of. And to not experience a recession is figuring out what can you do that is recession proof, or how do you evolve through a recession?
You mean you've never really lost a lot of money due to
I've
a
always
recession?
made money.
Same here, by the way.
And so it's, yeah.
Even when I had a rave company,
yeah.
like surprisingly that stayed up. Yeah.
But I think the point is, like, I get annoyed when I hear people like, yeah, man, my company got hurt because of Corona, or I got hurt because I couldn't get a job. This is like, if you're saying this line, it's because of you. It's not because of the economy.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, you're also in a position where you didn't get affected by it. I do know people who definitely got kind of fucked by stuff like that.
Name one thing.
When I graduated from college, a lot of my friends went to law school and were getting all these cool offers for like 180 grand a year salary. Like this back then, that was a lot in New York. As soon as the recession hit, 2008 or whatever, all that kind of stuff happened after they got out of law school, all their offers got rescinded. That was really no fault of their own.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, oh, yeah, we moved to New York and we're here for our job. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to hire you. That's an example of like, I think those people got
There's
hit
tough
by
time.
it.
Well, dude, imagine if you're a restaurateur right now. Like you own like a chain of like highly successful restaurants. You're fuckity fucked. Like
Not true.
like how?
Not true. One, you have what is it called? Approved kitchens or whatever the fuck they're certified
Ghost kitchens?
No. If you have a restaurant, you have kitchens that you're allowed to cook food in, right? So generally, if you're not even a commercial kitchen, you have to get commercial license. So a restaurant now can cook any food they want in those kitchens. Now they can actually cook food or items that they could deliver all across their whole country, in any country. So let's just do a quick example. You have a sushi restaurant, right? And now the coronavirus happened or some shit, and now it's closed, so people can't come to your restaurant. But I think what people do is like, well, they closed my restaurant, I'm fucked. The reality is that's not true. You have a kitchen, you have a brand, you have potentially an audience. So what can you do with it? Can you sell chopsticks? Can you sell your products internationally? Can you set up a Shopify store? Can you do YouTube videos about it? There's a lot of opportunity, but I think a lot of people either like kind of put their head in the sand and bow down. And I think some people are being really ingenuitive and really impressive.
That's true, but there are some people that have it a lot harder.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I think if you are, it's a whole longer discussion about like rights and opportunity with our lifetime. I think there's a lot of people who came from like very poor countries without great parents, which is really fucking hard.
Yeah.
We've been blessed with that. But I think right now, especially during Corona, if you are willing to work, there's opportunity.
I will say everyone that works in some sort of online thing in my life that I know did better in this pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, online,
Almost all of them.
I haven't
little
met
surprising.
anybody in the digital space that is like, I've lost money this year. Everybody's like, fuck, dude, I'm crushing it. And I don't want to tell
You don't have
anybody.
any loser friends.
Well, but I do have friends that are very driven entrepreneurs in other spaces that are like, yeah, man, my business got hit here. And I'm like, well, let's look at that. Let's unpack it and see what other opportunities there are. And at face value, because I'm not a restaurateur and I'm not all this, I didn't know about that regulation lift. I'm like, yeah, man, it looks like you're kind of in a tight spot, but like, maybe you can figure other things out. Like restaurants here in Austin that have patio space, they're doing well. Right. But if you own a small sushi shop and you can't serve outside, what do you do?
Dude, there's so many different things. You could do catering, you can do delivery, you can do courses, you can do books, you can do YouTube.
But that's asking a lot for somebody who like literally operates a one location store, right?
I don't think. I mean, one of the things that was interesting, I was doing office hours earlier today, and a lot of people, what was surprising is how many people have lost a job or got fired. They didn't lose it. We know where it is, but like they got fired. All of us, you haven't gone through it, but like I've gone through it. Have you ever gotten fired or lost your job?
Fuck yeah. The one corporate job I had, I got totally like, you suck at being an employee. Yeah.
And I think with all these experiences, it's nice sometimes to run the business because you can control it. You have total control of the good and bad. But I think when you have that, it's like, how do I have control of these situations? And I think a lot of people myself included, we act as victims at times.
Yeah.
And so it's just like whether you're a local store or not local store, like there are opportunities. I think right now is like one of the best times to make money. Like money is not made during certainty.
Yeah.
Money is made during like uncertainty and chaos. Like at least maximum money.
I mean, in the real world, it mimics the market.
This is the real world.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the real world, like what you're talking about, restaurants and physical businesses, that mimics the opportunity matrix, mimics the markets. Like in March, when everybody was fucking terrified and the markets were panicking off, that's when you make money. It's not when you're in a slow little bull market. It's when there's volatility and uncertainty and panic. That's when you make money. So to your point, yeah, it's like you can innovate, you can fucking grow.
Can I cut you off for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
How many people have gotten rich off of investing versus rich off of real estate? Well, I guess it would be investing, rich off like technology. I'm trying to think of like creation-based wealth generation versus investing-based wealth generation.
So
That's a good question.
I would guess it's like 99-1 creation versus like professional investors.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's why I'm a huge fan of both, but like and this is why I tell people like in our community, I'm like, don't try to get rich through the markets. Like create a business where you have cash flow and then you take this cash flow and you put it to work and you just grow that. Like, but creating a blog, creating a SaaS business, creating something like that is the best fucking way, bar none, to get really wealthy. Right? Are we in agreement with that?
Fully.
I think do it all. Yeah.
Yeah, do it
How
all.
can you
like,
make money? Probably do them all.
yeah.
I think finding the thing you have talent in, but yeah, try different things to find out.
Spending the most amount of time on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think your point though is valid. I think people, again, I feel like I'm harping on it. Like for the crypto people that are watching in the show, like Mikhail and Kush, Brad, like if you treat it like you are a professional, like this is all you do all day is your community and this world, and that is why I would assume you're doing well in it. But I think some people treat it like, I'll just buy it, and I've read Chris's thing, and it's like, well, you're not going to get rich off that.
Yeah. I mean, some people, like, you can make the argument that, well, we are getting close. You can make the argument that you can get on the back of markets. Like, you don't have to be in the markets full time to make a lot of money, but that shouldn't be your only thing.
Well,
You
it's
know?
like $50 away from being 19.
Dude, we're going to get you we're going to get you brand.
Guys, stop buying.
Dude, crypto, hey, at 19,000, he's getting a tat. I think the story like my stepdad, like in March when the economy and crypto and all this stuff was going down.
Yeah.
I went to my stepdad and I was like, man, or late March. He's like, yeah, I've been making a lot of money. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I was reading all the reports. I saw the stuff. It's pretty obvious if you actually like were spending time and doing it. And that's all he does.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I was jealous. I was jealous that my dad was paying attention to it and I wasn't. And I was paying attention to YouTube and AppSumo, which is where I have an advantage.
Yeah.
And I was mad. And then a day later, I was like, why don't I just give him my money? Right. And the point there is that like you need to pick what you want to be the best at.
Yeah.
You need to pick where you want to excel. And if there's people like you out there who's teaching it and spending your all day doing it, then just go listen to Chris.
Yeah.
Or if it's copywriting, go to you. Or if it's marketing, come to me. But then don't try to also do the crypto part. I guess Jomo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's the thing. Like everybody that talks about having side hustles and like have multiple sources of passive income, it's like that's all bullshit. Really, it's like focus on the thing that you can get the best return on your time.
Wait. Let me qualify that. It's I think in your beginning, like when you're early 20s or something like that,
Yeah.
you should have a bunch of those to see what you're good at,
Yes.
and then focus on the one you're really good at.
Yeah, it's kind of like the shotgun approach.
Yep.
And then like when you find something that you're like, this is my core competency,
Because when you're 19, you probably don't know what
yeah.
you're really
Getting
good at.
tatted.
Yeah,
Dude,
put
19,000.
everything into what you're really, really good at. And if you're an entrepreneur like you guys, you're more of an investor, trader type, like you get it. But Noah's like entrepreneur focused. Like you should not spend time managing your capital. Like you should.
I would
absolutely,
like to get more of it out. I'm like very risk averse once I've made it. It's
like
funny,
what does that mean though? Like
it's funny
being
because like as an
risk-averse.
example, like if it's someone's simple example, we're doing a give away my Tesla for Black Friday. We're spending 80,000. Like 80,000 is the total cost of it. Like, oh, yeah, no
like
problem.
with ads and everything, or
The car, the giveaways, the management firm to run it, the insurance on the part of the firm.
Yeah.
Like the ads to it. It's probably like 80 to 100K all in.
yeah.
It doesn't even. Okay, no problem. Spending today, I had my backyard work done. It's $2,000. Like I scrutinize that bill. And it's
That's
just
the
like,
Jew coming out
No,
of
it's not
you,
even
yeah.
just Jewish. It's just like interesting how we'll look at some things, no problem, and other.
We've
things
had
not.
so many talks about this.
Yeah.
He is no offense, but a total neurotic Jew when it comes to spending money on like things that give you pleasure.
But I think the point there is that
It's almost hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
We should tell the story of his Jaguar he bought one time.
No, I don't need to hear about that.
See how emotional?
Yeah. No, it's funny. I mean, these are like all biases that I deal with on a daily basis talking to people is like, yeah, you mean you'll drop 100K giving a car away because you can quantify what the ROI is on that.
Yes.
Right? You know, like say you get 100 leads or not 100 leads, like
How many signups?
I can't do math when I've been drinking whiskey. Like say your
This is who you're taking
CPL
your
is
stock advice from?
say your CPL is what? What do you think it's going to be? $2 or $3?
Well, so for that contest, we've gotten 40,000 individual signups. I don't know what percent are actually brand new.
yeah.
But if it's at $80,000, 40,000, let's say half are new, 20,000 new signups. Excuse me. So it's about $4 per customer in revenue or in profit that we need to get to pay ourselves back.
So you're gonna
Yeah, we're gonna ROI.
yeah, you're gonna ROI,
and it's fun. It was
So
cool.
so you the thing is you have confidence because you understand that world. You know the ROI you're gonna get. You throw money at Bitcoin, you're like, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen with this, right? Like,
I think Neville and I talk about it a lot, and I literally remember I was in bed with my girl at the time, and I called Neville when I hit 20, and I was like, "Yo, are you selling?"
hit 20 what?
20,000. Didn't Bitcoin hit 20?
Oh, in 2017.
Yeah, I remember I called you at
yeah.
night, and I was like, "You're selling?" He's like, "Nah." I'm like, "All right, I guess I'm not selling."
Well, my theory was just like, what am I going to buy with it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to pay taxes on it, and now what? Like, what am I going to buy with it? And there
Yeah.
was nothing I wanted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, so when you look at the stock market, though, how do you look at that?
Even that I'm really bad at. I would say I'm bad at all this stuff. It's not that I'm bad. It's just I guess the amount of time relative to be very successful at it, I just don't want to do.
Yeah.
So I have a wealth manager.
you are like not. It's
Good.
weird because you're good at a lot of things, and I talk
Thanks,
a
man.
lot of good things about Noah. Stock investing for some reason, like you have. I think you were.
I sell high,
You were
buy
still
low.
very
Yeah.
emotionally tied to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're emotional on a lot of things, but like that one, you're very emotional on that side of it.
I mean, it
It
makes
is a weird
sense.
thing. That is kind of like one thing you're not like super good at.
So
Yeah.
let me tell you a couple of things to make you feel better about it because
You can also
no,
brag about
but
yourself.
no, but these are true. Like, if you want to outperform 90% of professional investors, just fucking index the S&P. Most investors suck. Most professional investors suck. There's another thing I was going to say and it just slipped my
You'll get
mind.
it.
whenever you find that, but question.
Yeah.
So I remember I listen to Warren Buffett a lot. He always talks about just invest in a low cost index fund, S&P 500.
Yeah.
And I remember always thinking, I was like, that's good advice. So what do I do? And so I remember looking it up. I was like, I need to be able to tell people what to buy when I say that. So
Yeah.
I think it's just the VOO. That's the ticker symbol for the
There's a
S&P.
few, yeah.
So I always tell people VOO. That's it. Just do that one. That's what he does.
I think just to add really quickly, I think the way you get rich, it's boring.
Yeah.
Getting rich is boring. And like what you just said is really interesting because it's like, hey, if you want to get rich, just buy this index fund.
And never touch it.
And it's like, but no, I'm gonna trade it all this thing. It's like,
But the thing is you can get rich a lot quicker building a business like you have built, like we
and
you
more
know,
fun.
and more
What
fun.
I found this very unsatisfying on my day to day when I went through my day trading phase.
Yeah.
I hated looking at this guy.
God, I kind of want to do day trading. Hold on. I'll take like,
Oh,
how
dude,
much, like,
we should
like,
do it.
what,
Dude, I'm
1,000?
in your will. Don't blow all my money.
Okay, look. Let's do this. Like, I swear you'll get an ROI on this. Let's take $100,000. Hear me out.
100 grand.
$100,000. Let's take $100,000. You take 20. Oh, well, 25. So you meet the pattern day. Actually, take 50 because you're gonna lose real quick. But like day trade for a week, just based on what you think is gonna happen, and see how fast you lose, and then take the other 50 and go day trade, and whatever you think you're supposed to do, like instead of hitting buy, hit sell, you'll still lose, but you'll lose less.
That'd be funny if there's a Chrome extension that just switched it and you don't know. Like it just automatically
Dude, you
like,
could
swapped
sell
it
that
or something like that.
Do you want to lose less money in the markets? Do the opposite thing. Yeah.
Well, that was a George Costanza quote we always talk about with him. It's like,
Opposite.
if whatever he does is wrong, then the opposite must be right.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Negative sum game, like you're going to lose on both sides in certain markets, but yeah. Yeah, the markets are weird, man. Build a business, invest the cash flow.
Well, ultimately,
That's the
I
thing.
think he'll probably be richer than both of us.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, dude, you've literally got a 9-figure payday coming, right?
What?
Like if you
Really?
decide to sell, like
Yeah.
like it's kind of like a lot of entrepreneurs. They go like this, then boom,
Yeah.
and then like that.
Yeah.
I think the thing
Like
with
a Mark
crypto is,
Cuban type of thing.
But I think that the biggest thing that it's not just discouraging crypto. I think that stuff is very interesting. I like it. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I just can't turn up the dial. I can't turn up the dial. Like I want to get rich on crypto. Get rich on crypto right now. Like live. Could you go and make an extra 100 G's?
but you could theoretically
In what time? 100 G's. In what time frame?
in this month?
Yeah, probably.
But also from scratch, you have a ton of resources. You're talking about like someone from
even
scratch
saying
couldn't do it. There's
yeah,
no way.
that's a different discussion about
like
starting-
$100,000 on what kind of capital?
What I'm trying to say is that like if you wanted to dial up and make 100,000 like highly guaranteed within this month from
No.
trading,
That's not how the markets work.
That's
the thing,
my
yeah.
point. You're like, well, the market within a business, I'm not just saying that our business is exclusive to it. Within business, you can control levers
For sure.
increase your ad spend, hire more people, do these things to
100%.
dial
Wash
up.
100
Yeah.
cars and make that money.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah,
You know
wash
you
for
can do
cards.
it.
Yeah, open
Yeah.
door.
Look, I'm gonna compare it like this. Like, I agree 100% with what you guys are saying. Building a business is the best way to get the highest ROI on your money. Fucking period. Being a trader, no matter what the market is, and Bitcoin has been my fucking savior.
My
like,
God, you were getting a fucking.
Oh,
tat,
no.
dude. We are so close. To
we're
getting tatted.
$25 away.
Dude, this guy is getting a tat tonight.
All right,
Oh my
we're
god. We need to keep going on this to make sure.
I think I made more than $100,000 a night.
Here comes, dude.
No, but let me say this. Let me say this. let me
Start listening to him instead.
Let me say this. Let me say
No,
this.
listen to him. Yeah,
Let me
please.
say this. Being a trader is like being a poker player. Like it's the exact same shit, just different market dynamics. It's a probabilities game. It's a grind. Building a business that you can sell for 100 million or more is way better. And I would tell anybody who's listening to this, like 100%, like go build a fucking business. Don't waste your life away sitting in front of your computer watching the screen 24/7. If you can build a business like these guys have built and you have capital that you can put into markets to juice your returns,
Bro, it's $20 away.
Dude, get it up to dude. 19,000 gets a tat.
oh my God, sorry guys, we're having interruptions on the live stream here.
Where are you gonna get your tattoo?
Yeah.
I don't know. Where should we go? Do you guys have a
Tramp
tag guy?
The
No,
6th
okay.
Street?
Yeah.
Some shitty 6th Street place?
Oh my God.
Should I tweet this out? There's Travis DeVitt.
What's up, Trav?
No, you were finishing your thought.
I
We're a little distracted.
Hey, everybody, short the market right now. Anyway, build a
Here's the
business,
thing. Well, so
invest the difference.
I like where. So the two
me
things I
pull
want
up
to
Twitter.
highlight. I love that you take your money and then keep investing more. That you actually inspired me after we talked about that last weekend.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I take more of my money and invest. I was like, yeah, I want to put more. I don't know, just have more fun with it and try different things with it. But I think the thing I would wonder is, can I just give you? Can I, if I join your community, can I just copy what you do for many years? You just put all your stuff out there.
Yeah, like, so if you want to ride the big trends and like, if you have patience, which most people don't, yeah, absolutely. Like, I've had in the hundreds of conversations, like hundreds of people conversations that have done that and made millions.
Han, how many people that have been in Chris's community that are in the comments? There's 100 people watching. It's a good amount. That's a lot of people. How many people have made
For
money?
a Friday night, yeah.
How many people have made money being a part of Chris's stuff?
Or if I'm a loser and a scammer, like, say that too.
All right, so I'm curious to see like the results that people have gotten from.
Yeah,
being a
yeah,
part of
I'm
the
curious too, because I have no fucking clue who's on here. Let me
Do you
read
remember,
Twitter
Tim
real quick.
Sykes?
So, oh
Is
yeah,
Tim Sykes still big in the game? See that thing?
yeah.
He has a reputation. He's a like you know him too, right?
I know him
I knew him from way
vaguely.
back
You
in the
knew
day.
him?
Yeah. I always have fond memories of him because he was like a super
Yeah.
cool guy to me all the time. But I remember it was one South by Southwest. He started like Tim Sykes is like a notorious like day trader on
Yeah.
like penny stocks.
It was the Jindian thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah, he
Indian thing.
stayed with me during that week. Yeah.
That's right. I think I met you through that.
Yeah,
originally.
yeah.
Yeah, and he used to not market because he does like shows his Rolexes and Ferraris and stuff. And I remember knowing him for years before that. I was like, that's not who he was. And he just started
Yeah.
doing it during South by Southwest because he knew that got a lot of views and attention. So he totally leaned into it.
Yep.
But it was hilarious how he always talked about trading.
All right, I'm gonna just tweet real quick.
Yo, I got it real quickly. I'm just going to highlight some of the people that are commenting. Harry Johns made money from you. Rukshar, Nicholas Gar, Freeman Young. Oh, no, Freeman didn't.
Let's see.
Nicholas Anton did. Desert made it on his own. Dude, Harry John, he said 3 years in the game, survived and now thriving.
Nice.
That's pretty damn cool to change these people's lives and give them recommendations.
Yeah, you know there's some people in the trading world that like to like show off their students and like, oh, this guy made so much money. In the Bitcoin world, it's kind of weird because most people, rightfully so, don't want to brag about their gains.
Is it because they're going to get robbed? Is that why?
Yeah,
Probably. Yeah.
Really?
yeah, like weird shit, like hackers, like scammers, whatever. Like, I carry a gun, so whatever. Like,
Do you carry concealed most of the time?
oh yeah, all the time.
One thing I tried this week I think you find interesting, I paid a guy to hack me.
Really?
Yeah.
You did a pin test or whatever?
Peanut? What? What'd you want to do?
Penis test?
Penis test.
How much?
Penetration test.
Oh, no, yeah, there was a
To
guy.
hack your penis, you get
a guy
circumcised
hacked,
today?
a guy hacked our company, and we ended up paying him to. He let us know that we had some mistakes, not mistakes, but we just had some stuff, so we paid him.
Some vulnerabilities.
Yeah, vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, can I pay you this much to do it, and I'll pay you this much of a bonus if you get through to any of my significant accounts.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind
Bug
of fun.
bounties. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
for a personal, because I think it's like I'm like, well, if someone actually got access to my bank or my Gmail or some of these things, would be like pretty
Is it
devastating.
like George Hotz made all his money? Like Sony, Apple, Google, they all do that. Big bug bounties. If you hack something, they'll pay you like 200 grand.
Yeah.
A million up to $1 million.
Yeah. In the crypto space, that's very common to have bug bounties. Like you have exchanges, you have programs or projects that pop up and they're like, we'll pay you to show our vulnerabilities rather than hacking us. Like,
That'd be pretty awesome. I'm sure Coinbase does that.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
All these places doing like cold storage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That must be a major stress for them, right?
100%. I mean, like, there's massive hacks all the time in the space. So,
Really? Are there still big hacks?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, the big thing right now is like DeFi, so decentralized exchanges and like all this yield farming shit. Like, you'll hear in the media recently about these hacks. They're really not hacks. They're just like exploits. They're people that
Yeah.
are smart, very intelligent people that sit back and they read the code and they figure out like, oh, I can run this trading bot or I can run this thing, this algorithm, malware, whatever, and I can exploit this contract. I can play by the rules, but I can exploit it and make a fuck ton of money.
Do you remember Kevin Mitnick from back in the day? The original hacker that went to jail? Like,
Yeah,
back in the
he was like the
90s?
biggest dude ever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, there was like a big thing to free him and stuff like that. And he would basically call up like AT&T and be like, "Can you give me the password?" And they're like, "Yeah, here you go." It's just like social engineering.
Yeah.
He never actually hacked them. He just called and asked for stuff and
Oh
then
yeah,
got access.
social engineering is like people are easier to crack than code, right? Like code is, especially today, it's the infrastructure is better, but
nearly impossible.
But
with
customer
current
service,
technology.
that's like the whole SIM swapping thing. Like that's why I have 5 fucking phones, you know, like
Really?
and multiple phone numbers for different things. Yeah.
Can you list them out all?
Yes,
here
I
on
will
this,
give you each one. Hey.
Yeah, we'll split bug bounty.
Whoa, shit. We
Damn,
are close.
dude, how close did that get? Ooh, bro, you're getting a tattoo today.
It's the high. $20 away. Y'all, will you please short this fucking price action?
Wait, so if they short it, it'll go down?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't think you guys have some really rich friends to do it,
Yeah.
dude. Remember?
Let's see what everybody's saying on
You know what's
Twitter.
crazy? What's his name? Oh my God, Silk Road.
What's up, Brad? Huh?
Silk Road.
Silk Road? Yeah.
Silk Road guy. I can't believe I don't remember his name at the moment. Remember, he used to like hang out here in Austin.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, he
Yeah,
was like a
Ross.
person. Yeah,
he went to
Ross
Westlake
Albright.
High School, I think.
Ross Albright. Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to. There was like a crew
you
of
know
people
Ross?
we knew.
I didn't. I know Neville met him at a party.
No, at Conjunctured.
What's that?
It was like the first co-working place, and like that crew used to know him, and he was just like
Hmm.
this guy. Was didn't really like know him or anything like that.
Yeah.
but like yeah, he was just like a person there. It's kind of cool. And then where I used to stay in San Francisco, Glen Park, he got arrested at that library. I used to sit there and work there because.
Whoa. Were you there when he got arrested? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Have you read the book?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Book's so good.
Bitcoin Billionaire?
Oh,
He
no, no, no.
recommended.
American Kingpin and Bitcoin
yes.
Billionaires. Both are awesome.
And
Amazing.
Bitcoin Gold? Or there's
Is there
been
another
a
one?
few good
I
ones.
probably
Yeah,
want-
yeah.
I love
So
those.
good.
You sent me the one on audiobook, Bitcoin Billionaires. Amazing. I only listened on audiobook, but it was fantastic. About
Yeah.
the Winklevoss twins.
Yeah. Which, by the way, free Ross. Thanks, Carl. Yeah. The fact that he's serving life in prison is fucked up.
I totally agree with you, but
He did try to kill some people.
there it is.
It's
No? Is there
I
more?
don't
Is there
know.
more
I don't
to the
know.
story?
I don't know. I don't know.
Dude, you should make a documentary on it.
I don't know if anybody in the comments knows, but
It sounded like you tried to get some people killed.
the
That part's
FBI agents were corrupt as shit. I don't know. If you guys know, comment.
Dude, but that guy bought the bounty that he had, like his 20,000 Bitcoin or whatever it was, which
Yeah.
is now like worth billions.
Yeah, the
What a
government
crazy
just got.
story.
Yeah, I want to know what happened with that because they recently, like, somebody handed over the keys. I doubt they hacked the private keys, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Interesting.
All right, good. The price is coming down.
Ah,
Good.
you're-
All you
you're-
guys
you're
stop
puckering.
buying. Yo, we've been going for 2.5 hours.
Dude, this is. I mean, we should.
Are you
do
guys
this every
having fun?
Friday. Yeah, this is awesome.
Should we just get like super drunk every Friday and
You realize this is what Joe Rogan does? This is his job.
Yeah. Damn. I think having the setup and the like, there's an Asian guy that you have here.
There's a Bobby Lee's twin brother that never made it in show business.
Kevin?
Can we just make fun of everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. You look like a Trader Joe's employee, but you're too ugly, so they made you work in the back.
I love how
Neville, actually, he got to go. He has. I think your Uber shift starts now. I'm sorry. I'm checking your time.
oh no. You gotta get those hours in, bro.
that
oh,
Trader
yeah.
Joe, that was good.
All right. If chat can come up with a better one for Banana Man over here.
Banana Man.
Banana Man.
Bro, you're
No.
white. That's racist.
wow.
cancel
No,
you.
you. Coconut Man.
Oh, Coconut Man.
Yeah, yeah. I do think we need to brand the coconut wine as this.
What do we call
guy.
Noah's coconut?
Well, the names that
wine?
we have so far is Justin Bieber.
What? What
Wait,
does it
what?
mean?
I don't know. Just that's what my ex.
No,
calls it.
that's really bad.
don't
We
like
need like
Branding is not my thing. Marketing is.
all right,
If you guys have a
copywriter.
better name, yeah.
Hey, let's do this. Let's start a business right now that
If
we're
you
gonna.
guys, does anyone want to buy coconut wine? I will ship it to you.
Well, there's a literal way and there's a figurative way. Literal is like Noah's coconut wine. Coconut wine by Noah.
Yo,
That's literal.
what's your cost per bottle? Do you know that?
That's actually
His dignity? I don't
Well, so it's about $3 per 33 ounces. It's $12 for a gallon.
Can I buy like 1,000 bottles and put a sticker of you on it, and we'll give it out to like my peeps?
Dude, that would be wild. That would
Oh,
take
you
some.
should see. That's the trader in him. He's exploiting the
He's
opportunity.
Well, I'm
He's
trying to hop
our-
on the giveaway train. I can't. I used to give away Bitcoin in 2015. I can't do that anymore because there's so many scams, like giveaway scams. But I've been wanting to like give shit back, but I can't do Bitcoin
Why not?
because Like YouTube
seems
has
fake.
already shadow banned me. I can't like get my channel taken down. Like if I did Bitcoin giveaway
Dude,
as
you just
the title,
say, I'm giving away Waterloo, wink. And then like people know, the algorithm won't be able to detect it. Yeah.
oh man,
Or do you get your tattoo on your face and you'd be like, I'm giving away,
Dude, here's the thing.
I'm giving.
I guess where I was wondering for you is that if you were so strong in Bitcoin, why not go bigger personality? Not saying do the Rolex, Ferrari, kind of like if that's not your style, but like, why not have a bigger personality around it?
what do you mean? Like how so? Like if you were to do it, like map it out.
Well, I just think you feel like you have a strong message. You feel like you believe in what you do. It seems like with the audience, you're getting results. So why not go out and be like, it feels like you're tempering it potentially.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to attract the get rich quick fucks. Like there are a lot of crypto YouTubers now that have come in since the 17 boom that they're all like, if you look at their YouTube thumbnails, they're all like, this coin, fucking 10x, get rich. But they're doing that marketing. I don't want those people. That's why my channel went from 100K to like 200K. But then like most of those people aren't engaged. And I'm like, I didn't want those subscribers to begin with. Like they're the wrong people. I would rather have like 10,000 subs of like smart people that are actually going to get results than 200,000 of like, oh, what's the next fucking coin I should just buy and like get rich on? Like, I don't want that.
We frequently talk about this. It's called chasing analytics. Where like if you wanted to get more subscribers, more views, if you do 10x, this is the next coin. Which one is it? Question mark.
Yeah,
that would get you more. But is that the way you want to live? Is that the person you want to attract? Is that the brand you want to build?
Yeah. Just go look at the comments section on those guys' videos. They're getting tens of thousands of views. Like, I used to hate when some of my videos would go viral. Like, I had to hang with me.
Yeah.
I would, like, back when Bitcoin was breaking out above 1,000 for the first time, I believed in it so much that like this was the move that I did one of those like, is Bitcoin doing the thing? And I did the thing, I did the thumbnail, and I got like 100K views in like the first day. And I was,
Dude, that's
I was
nuts.
But like, it wasn't good. I didn't feel good about it. We were on a camping trip and I'm like on my phone refreshing going, oh fuck, I wish this wasn't happening. I'm like, why do I feel this way? And it was because I knew those were the people coming in. It wasn't people that were going to be disciplined and like do the right shit. It was like I was going to have to put up with the residual of that get rich quick mentality for like
Well, I'm starting a
year.
channel tomorrow and I'll tell you how to make it.
Yes.
Are there any female Bitcoin billionaires and millionaires? Because I only hear about some random dudes.
Yeah. I don't know any females that got in early that aren't professionals, like that aren't managing other people's
Or
money.
that are talking about it. I think that's something we talk about a lot, which is like how many people have success, whatever they define it as, that don't talk about it.
Yeah.
A lot. The
Most
richest people I know have 0 followers on any
They
site.
don't talk about their Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They don't watch this stuff. I mean, they probably the thing is they buy the courses, they watch the stuff, they don't comment.
They consume, they just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Which, I think once you get actually past like a certain level of wealth, it kind of becomes a problem. It
Yeah.
becomes a target. I mean,
No.
There's literally like no upside for you to do anything at some point.
For sure. And that's why like it's been hard for me to even ask for testimonials for our stuff, because I'm like, I don't even want to ask for that because I know you don't want to be public about it. Like, it's weird enough when I do an event like in the Cayman Islands and I have a video guy in the back and people are like, are you gonna get my face on this shit? I'm like, no. Like, it's internal.
I love that
purposes,
like billionaires now have Twitter accounts, and people harp on them. I actually hate reading their comments because on Twitter, like you like Chamath Malapala, whatever, you know, what was his name? What's his real name? Chamath. Like he'll talk, and I'm just like, I'm
so
glad
interesting.
I'm
He's so
glad a
interesting.
guy like that talks. And I
Fuck
read
yeah.
his Twitter comments. I'm like, what in the fuck? People are like, you're a billionaire. We could. It's just dumb stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are people that are super, super rich. They don't have to stick their neck out and talk, but they are. Like, I'm just so fortunate we get to hear that stuff now.
100%, dude. Guys like that are actually changing the game. Like I showed you SBE earlier. You know, all the SPAC shit is because of him.
Dude,
He's creating billions of dollars of wealth for other people.
I totally actually don't know the name of their podcast, where him, David Sachs, and Kalkanakis or whatever talk about stuff. And I listen to all of those. And they honestly, like, your videos get more views than them sometimes.
But that's the thing. That's
it's
the
like
thing.
these 4 amazing people, like, just going out of their way, talking shit,
How's their
uncensored.
content?
Dude,
Great.
that
Dude,
dude,
I'm gonna
I think you
subscribe.
really like it. What's it
dude,
called?
that's why views, that's why fucking vanity metrics don't matter.
Good point.
Views and subs don't matter. I don't give a fuck how many people are watching this live, because I know, Like you were saying, the one person, there's
person.
a couple of people watching right now that fucking matter, right? And like, I don't care. I don't need to be the biggest crypto YouTuber, right? You got guys like Chamath who maybe get less or more views than me. I don't know, and I don't care, because I know every single person watching his videos, those are the people you want, you know?
Yeah.
Where I see some of these, you know, ICO Schiller dudes, they're like getting a lot of views. I'm like, I don't even want that.
Well, I mean, you're actually getting what they want, which is money.
Yeah.
Also, do you know any YouTubers with a lot of views that don't make a lot of money?
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah. I was actually
Like
very
people that
surprised
are
about
doing
that.
YouTube as like a job, or
Yeah.
like what do they?
Well, I don't know where you're going with the question.
I don't want to like say any names or anything like that, but I've met a couple of YouTubers with like millions of followers and stuff like that, like several, that I was actually very shocked like how little they make from YouTube.
Big time.
And they always make it from like some sort of side business or some
Right.
merch or whatever the hell they do
Yeah,
on
if
the
you're
side.
trying to make money on ad revenue, like no.
Yeah, it's shockingly little sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the finance space that probably is higher.
So I was curious about this. So I never ran ads ever on my videos from ever until like 2 months ago. I turned on ads because I'm like, oh, they're fucking shadow banning me. Because when I had a YouTube rep for whenever I hit like 200K, they were like, hey, you get this guy you can ask questions to. I'm like, hey, like what's going on? The only thing he talked about for the 2 hours we were on the phone was, why aren't you running ads? You should run ads. You should, you know, so the incentive for him was revenue bump. You could tell, right? And I was like, this is interesting. And then over the past year, my numbers went way down, and I'm like, I wonder if this is a shadow ban type scenario. So I started running ads 2 months ago, and they started going up a little bit, but I can't tell. I don't know.
You try adding advertisements like pre-roll.
Oh yeah,
advertisements.
ads.
Not buying ads.
On YouTube, like
Just running,
yeah, like running the ads. So I'm making. I'll actually share this publicly
let's
if anybody's
see it.
Yeah,
curious.
Let's look it
Let's
up.
see it.
Hell yeah. If I'm gonna rob you later, I mean, I don't even know how much money I'm gonna get out of this.
But basically, what? So I'm getting about $50 a day.
Dude, 15. That's not bad.
50.
Yeah,
50.
$1,500 a month.
Yeah, no, but like for like if you look at the average person that's trying to do YouTube and that's like their main thing, it's like fuck, man, I'm doing all this like look at all this.
I mean, the setup.
You know,
yeah, this will take you 12 months to ROI back.
yeah, and then you know salaries for people and shit. It's like no, you can't make a living doing YouTube.
Yes and no. So I've been studying. Like our team makes a lot of content around, and we research all these YouTubers. So I think the ad revenue is a lot lower than people think, but there's a lot of basically YouTube is your traffic generator. So that's how people find out about you.
Yeah.
But then you have a community, or you have a book, or you have software, or you have merch, or you have like direct sponsorships. So but a lot of people, I think what I've noticed from just being in YouTube this year is that there's people who are creatives and they're great at being creative. Like I think Neville has learned business in the past 2 years really well, but I think he is more of a creative person where I don't feel like I'm as creative, but I really excel in the business operation part. And so I think that's where there's a disconnect in the YouTube experience.
But you're also good at the creative part.
I think
like,
I've gotten
you do
with it
great
too.
fucking videos.
Thank you, man.
And you run a massive business. So.
The massive business, it's not. I mean,
It also has
massive-
help with a lot of the videos.
Yeah, it's from
editors and
hiring a
stuff
team.
Like that.
It's
Yeah.
from hiring a team of people to like AppSumo. The only reason we're successful is because we brought on Eamon. That's the only reason I am now wealthy. Like,
Really?
Yeah. If it wasn't without Eamon, I think I'd probably have like low digit millions.
Yeah, he's talked about this.
Oh, only low digit millions.
He talked about it openly, and
Yeah.
I know for a fact it's true. Like you've never been like starving by any means.
No.
You've had money since you were like in
Baby.
college, but like at the same time with AppSumo, you poured all the money, all of the profits for like at least 5-6 years.
I made nothing for many like 5. You know what's interesting?
Dude,
For like
fuck
three,
yeah.
3 years,
That's
I made
it
more
right
money
there.
on AppSumo than like
You made a
anyone.
lot more money than I did. So here's
So you didn't take a salary, or like how did you?
Well, first year I did not, and the second year we made money. I think I made like 28,000 or 30,000. And what's interesting, so we were doing our budgeting for 2021.
Yeah.
You know what our target income is? 0.
So
I'm actually even trying to go even
like,
more
what does that
negative.
mean? Like, is
our
that
actual
EBITDA or is
EBITDA?
that?
Yeah, I want 0.
Well, like what
No,
does
I
that
want,
mean?
like, our net-
Why? What are you doing?
Well, I want all the money to go back into the business. I want the business to be bigger.
in what though? Of course, the business, but
Hiring people, marketing, acquisitions, whatever we can do to actually keep growing the company.
okay.
And
So
that
have you,
part-
do you take like?
I take a
you tell me when to
distribution.
stop.
Yeah, no,
but
I take a distribution.
You take
So
distribution.
My base salary is $175,000 a year.
Okay.
And then at the end of the year, whatever we have after we pay the team and we like try to spend all the money, then I'll take some part of that as a distribution.
After we try to spend all the money, I love that.
We do, I mean, it's like it's not new. I mean, it's the Amazon approach.
That's what
Yeah,
every
no,
company
for sure.
does.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, that's what I mean when I say you're building a real business. Like, that's impressive. And
But
like,
I think
that's
the
the thing.
YouTubers, I think YouTubers like what you're doing with crypto, and you found something you're excited about and you excel at, and you've created content and shared and built a community. I think everyone can do that in whatever area they're in.
Yeah, and that's why I love having this like divergence of like what success looks like. Like for me, I don't necessarily want to build $100 million or $1 billion business. I just want to like do my thing, have little responsibility, make a few $1,000,000 a year plus my return on my investments, and
Oh, is that all you want?
That's all
the
I
dream
want.
life that most
Hey.
people can't ever get.
yeah. No, but the thing is
That's a
with
good
that,
life, man.
the thing is with that is like any fucking buddy can do that nowadays, right? Like really.
I agree with that.
Like, dude, I
If they're-
tried to find a
they have the
reason why that
opportunity to
could
do it.
not be
Yes.
true. I tried to find a reason why that could not be true. I went to fucking Myanmar. I've gone to like jungle places. As long as you have an internet connection, you can do that at some level. With Bitcoin and with the internet, you can do that. Tell me I'm wrong.
I feel you.
Please tell
I
me
don't
I'm
know,
wrong.
but I mean, I think the point is I think money is unlimited. It's just, are you willing to do it? And most people are not. They want the idea of it,
Yeah.
but they're not actually willing to do any of the sacrificing necessary.
Yeah, I remember in my 20s, there was days where I'd like from morning till like, and when I actually used to wake up early in the morning, go to sleep very, very late. I was working the entire time.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like work. It just felt like writing, doing website development or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But like, it was work the entire time.
Yeah.
And then you see people kind of half-ass a little business on the side, and you're like, you didn't really work that hard. I think they see us now, and you're just kind of like, oh, you're waking up at 1:30 p.m. or something like that. But that's not how it always was.
You're waking up at 1:30 when you started, dude.
I would like to wake up at 1:30 p.m. It's almost impressive to try to
I don't
be
know
in
how
bed
you
till
could do that
1:30.
late. Actually, on Devil's
That's not normal, but
That
like,
was
it
exciting.
is
Normally you're like
pretty nice.
11, right?
Huh?
You're like 11.
Around like 10:30, 11, yeah.
Yeah, Chris, I called him on one day at like 10 a.m. and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna wake him up.
And I probably didn't even answer because my phone's still on notification.
No,
mode.
you actually answered it. It was like, you're like, dude, I'm like, yo, what's going on? He's like, I'm in the bathroom. I need to use the restroom. I was like,
Oh man.
Living the life. Dude, you know what's funny? Like you know what I was thinking about? You know how we were talking about recessions and stuff, and like people like lose their business. Back in the day, a recession was like your farm got blight, and like you didn't have food and you died.
What's blight?
Like a disease of plants.
Oh,
Like
okay.
your crops got eaten
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that.
It's literally like your Bitcoin went to zero. Like
Yeah, but your Bitcoin goes to zero. It's like, oh, I got to move back in with my parents.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like, oh yeah,
you
my whole
starve.
family dies.
Yeah. That's why you had like a lot of kids, right? Because you knew a couple of them were gonna die.
Yeah.
And like, you got to have the productive ones to work the farm. And
I mean,
shit.
1 out of 10 is gonna be kind of lame anyway. Like,
Oh man.
yeah, we don't have to live in that time. That's pretty awesome. You know, I always think about my favorite thing is I had LASIK.
Oh, did it work
my
for you?
Eyesight, my eyesight, when I was a kid, was negative 6.5 in each eye. Meaning,
Yeah.
like that big old sign over there, I could not read that. You know the big E on the eye chart?
What does it say right now?
Well, now I can wake up, kick ass, repeat.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
and
just
then
wanted to hear you say
Chris
it.
Dunn's a huge. Never mind. No, but I remember thinking, I was just like, if I was born 200 years ago, I wouldn't have no opportunity at all with bad eyesight. I'd be someone who has to like sit in the cave, like sharpening knives or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be my only opportunity. I couldn't do anything.
That's why I don't have any empathy for people that
And you'd be Jewish.
are lazy.
So not welcome anyway.
can I highlight one thing? Just, I thought it was really
Yes.
interesting. You're like, you're like, I wrote the book on Bitcoin. I like when you said that. I was like, wow, that's pretty badass.
Wait, is that your book?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shitty little self-published
thought it was
book,
a big
but
dick,
I was
dude.
like, I have limited time to write this thing.
Wow, I didn't know you had a book.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. Like, it's terribly
I'm not
edited.
gonna-
like, take those, but
what
like,
does it
it's-
recommend us to do?
It's really bad. Like, it's all it says is basically like some basic trading strategies and like,
Was it in 2015 you put it out?
yeah, it was. I think
Just,
I
like,
launched.
outdated references. Bitcoin's at $200. It's overvalued.
No, it literally is. Like the charts in here. Let me see if I can find one. Here's a chart at $50. No, wait, I can't even read. Like
No,
look
you
at the
got it.
quality of the images. It's so bad. I used to send these out for free by the hundreds. Like, oh yeah, look, $35 on that chart. And I'm like trying
Dude,
to
that is
teach people like just the
crazy.
psychology behind price action. And I don't know. I got a few thousand like emails and shit from people with this book, like saying, "Oh man, this is great."
If you, sorry,
No, go.
Did you sell it on Amazon?
No, I never even did that.
Why not?
I rushed to publish. I was like, how can I get this in the hands of the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time? And it was before I understood FBA. So it was, let me drive my own traffic to a funnel, and I did free plus shipping. So it was like, get the book plus $6. And we tried to do international shipping because like half of our followers are outside of the US. That was a fucking disaster. Half of them didn't get the book. We got them sent back for a number of reasons. And half of them, it was like $100 to ship to them. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Upload
get
it
it out
at
there.
kdp.amazon.com. Within 5 minutes, you'll have your book up and selling on amazon.com.
Really?
kdp.amazon.com. Do it. Free.
would you
No,
be
like, for
trading
real.
something else if you weren't doing Bitcoin? Do you think you'd still be in? You like the trading stuff?
I don't know, man. Like, I was pretty in 2013. I was like, I went all in on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin wasn't there, I would have been like, I'm done with financial markets as an active thing because the game's rigged with traditional markets. Like, I can't compete against algos. I can't compete against billion-dollar trading firms. I'm not smart enough like Travis DeWitt as a value guy. Like, I didn't have an edge. And I was like, I believe enough in Bitcoin, and I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. And that's why I went that direction. If I didn't have Bitcoin, I don't know where the fuck I'd be today.
I'm also trying to understand your edge. What's the edge that you have in understanding this, that you caught it?
I had the trading skill set from futures markets. It's kind of like, dude, this is going to sound so douchey. It's kind of, this is bad. Forgive me, guys. It's kind of like Michael Jordan, like a guy that had like developed skills, like call me like a JV college player in the trading space where I couldn't compete in the NBA. I went to play with middle schoolers in crypto. That's what, honestly, like that's what the competition level was like. And like I went into the Bitcoin space and I'm like, where are all the professionals? They're not here. There's no fucking competition. There's billions of dollars rushing into the market in a emotional way. I think I'm going to get rich.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? Remember back in the day with professional poker players? We used to know a lot of them, and they would just play poker online and make money, $200,000 a year. A lot of them, some of them millions.
Yeah.
And then it got squeezed.
Yes.
Like people the jig caught on.
Yes.
And more people were like, how do I do this? More people started courses. Sure. More people started courses about it. And then the algos started coming in.
Yep.
The software tools started coming in.
Yep.
And then sure enough, online, you really couldn't make money anymore. Or at least not as much without spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds you of that.
Yep.
It's like any industry just maturing, the jig catches on.
Yeah. It's kind of like we're 0 to 1. You know, it's like competition gets competed. Like,
Remember SEO way back in the day?
No, I mean, just like if Google adds anything early.
If you just repeated the same phrase like altavista.com and be like, well, this was clearly the top result.
Yeah.
This is like dumb stuff like that.
you could run what? So in 2010, what were you guys getting leads for on PPC? Like, do you
I
remember?
didn't start running ads till like 2012 or 11, but it was very affordable.
Did
like
you guys?
$1.
Yeah, it was like sub-dollar. Right now, it's what?
I was doing
15,
ads for
like
rave stuff back then.
doing what?
Like Google AdWords for my rave company. Yeah.
So you were
Getting sued
literally
by
the
Burning Man,
only
yeah.
bidder on the ads.
Well, also Burning Man keywords. I got them for cheap, but it's because you're not allowed to do them. So they sued me twice.
Who sued you?
Burning Man.
Oh, for like
For a
brand
nonprofit,
infringement.
they sure have a lot of lawyers.
Hey.
I learned that pretty quick.
Oh shit.
I used to fuck with Burning Man so much. I've been once in 2014. Do you know this fuck with Burning Man?
Yeah.
They would sue me because you're not allowed to use the word Burning Man or Black Rock City because they're both trademarks. And so I ran houseofrave.com. And to show people like what to buy, I ran ads for like Burning Man. I made a Burning Man page. They're like, you're not allowed to use those words. So what they would do is they'd send me these cease and desists with like 20 different like instances on my site that I need to change. Yeah. So I change one and send it back to them. And they'd be like, you have 19 different instances where you need to change it. I'm like, okay. So send it back to them. They're like, you still have 17 instances. I'm like, I'm complying.
Damn, fuck that.
Yeah, and then by the time Burning Man would show up, all their lawyers were big burners, so they'd all leave and they'd stop communicating like a week before. Wow. Yeah, for real. Every single
I
time.
didn't know that story.
Did they ever see you like, you're the guy we're suing?
I never met any of them. I talked to a lot of them. I was cordial to them at best.
Yeah.
But like people just kept asking me about Burning Man. And so like I made a Burning Man page. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I wasn't like trying to exploit it or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I called it, so I swear to God what I did. Instead of Burning Man, I called it Burning Men. and Black Rock City, I said the playa. So those words you can't, or Black Rock Desert. It's
Yeah.
technically a federal land or whatever. So it's like, it's not trademarked.
Nice, dude. Pushing the limits. All right, guys, listen, we've been going for 3 hours.
Hells yes.
We got...
Did we get to 19,000?
Oh yeah, you want to get off because you're not. Don't have to get your $19,000
unfortunately,
Bitcoin thing,
we've
yeah.
got a red candle, so it looks like I might be saved.
Ooh.
What's the high?
But if it gets there, eventually, will you still get it, or just today?
No, I'll have to do another one, like another. Yeah, we'll have to find something different. But let's find some questions for my two amazing guests. Which, if you guys, I know a lot of people came in late, and I'm moving a little slow right now because these fuckers made me work through.
We
half
did.
of this
We
whiskey.
forced this on you.
Yes.
Y'all drink way more.
This
It's
is
like when you
terrible.
made me buy. I bought XRP, lost a lot of money.
Oh God.
I mean, $3,000. Someone told me I shouldn't. Whenever someone texts me, I'm like, oh yeah, and then I bought it, and then like a month later, it went all the way down.
Yeah.
XRP, is that a coin?
XRP
Travis
is
should
one of
be
the,
here.
Like, yeah, it's one of the one.
You bought Ripple
Yeah,
at what price?
I think like $3,
What's it now?
30 cents.
So you bought when CNBC was like,
Noah
you should
Kagan method. Buy high, sell low.
You literally bought my bags. It's cool though. From now
My
on,
man. No, so this whiskey is from my money.
this is your dude. You bought this.
Is there a rule in the Torah that if you lose 10x your money, you're like out of the religion? Is that a thing? Just to keep the bloodline good?
Oh man, I don't know shit. If I got a Bitcoin tattoo, would you guys get
No.
tattoos?
I
No,
don't get
it's out of the
tattoos.
question. All right, sorry guys, I tried.
How about
Appreciate you.
Bitcoin henna? I'll do that.
Oh yeah, that sounds cool.
Like
Yeah.
a temporary,
Yeah, temporary.
thing.
Like
Yeah,
30
dude.
days.
Wow,
yeah.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were mad at me when I missed my last Bitcoin thing by an hour. They're probably going to be even madder now because
Dude.
look, I mean, it looks like it touched
Do you
the
know there's
thing
two
almost.
places
but-
you can get a tattoo where it fades off in a few months? Under your lip and on the bottom, the sole, the back of your foot.
Oh,
You get-
really?
You get a
It'll
tattoo.
just go away?
You get a tattoo, 6 months, it'll be gone.
Damn,
Yeah. Just saying.
man. All right, so
Bitcoin under both your
let's do this. I'm going to do a fire round.
Yeah, let's do it.
If anybody has any questions for my homies over here,
Neville, Noah.
yes. So
what's the producer's guy see?
Kevin.
Kevin, thank you for doing this. You guys don't get to see Kevin, but he's doing magic back here, y'all.
Yes.
That's awesome how you found him.
Kevin is dope.
What's that website you're on?
He's my former hockey.
PORN
He's
what?
my wingman. Kev, you were my wingman, right? I can't remember right now.
Yeah, we played.
He's like, yeah.
I was in a company meeting today, and I was like, "Yo, we need more Asians. Like you got to get more Kevin. That's why you're doing
Don't
so well."
poach my dude.
No, I'm not trying to poach your
All
Asian.
right.
This is your Asian. No, I'm saying like in each company, like you need a black, you need a white, you need an Asian, you need all the colors. That's how you get rich. And I was,
Neville.
Maybe you could trade Asians.
Wait, what
I'll give you-
are you?
technically
You're
Asian.
Zoroastrian.
yeah, I'll give you
though.
two
So we're
Indians,
Indian and
for
Iranian.
Kevin. Just two of them.
Wait, what is Zoroastrian though?
We're
here we go.
Iranians that came over 1,000 years ago to India. We're like the Jews.
So you guys literally
We're like the
crossed
Jews
the
of India.
desert.
Big
No, but you guys
noses,
are like
stingy
big deal.
money.
I think you're a bigger deal than people. You guys are not doing great marketing.
No, bad at marketing.
You're
very bad
well,
at
'cause-
marketing.
but like you
Muslims,
should be the
Hindus,
leader.
They
for
allow
that.
people to convert. We don't allow people to convert into
They're
the
the
religion.
first like people that believed in God. That was just one
in
God.
one God. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How
Is that
many
really-
of?
how was that? Like, how did no one else think that?
Yeah, because there's like 1,000 gods. We're just like,
Yeah.
let's just do one. They were like the original lazy ones.
Let's go with one.
Yeah, one.
So wait, how many of Zoroastrians are like?
Under 100,000 in the world.
No fucking way.
Yeah, it's the fastest dying major religion. Yeah,
Really?
I did some numbers. I did some basic arithmetic. It'll probably be dead in roughly 50 years, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad job on the Zoroastrians' part. Although they don't allow people to convert in, it's just I think religion is declining in general. People
Right.
are not having as many kids. Stuff like that.
So is Zoroastrian? Is it kind of like Jew? Like it's a.
It's very similar.
It's a. What do you call it? A,
almost like
a
an
lineage
ethnicity,
and
yeah,
a
yeah.
religion and a lineage and a
Yeah.
religion.
So it's Zoroastrianism is a religion.
Yeah.
Parsi Zoroastrian means like you went from Iran to India. So about 1,000 years ago, my ancestors got kicked out of Iran and went to India.
So how many of you guys are in India versus the U.S.?
I think there's roughly like 60 to 80,000. It's a little debated on how many there are in India. And then in the U.S., there's probably like 10,000, 20,000 at most.
And are most
most.
of you guys in Houston?
Actually, you know what?
or-
The largest population is like 5,000. That's in Toronto. Then Houston is the next where I grew up. And
Yeah.
then L.A. And there's
And
only like
is
a
it
few
like a
thousand in each
close
place.
family group? Like,
Yeah, we actually had like a really cool upbringing. Like in Houston, I got my homies. And they're still
Really?
all my close friends. We had
dude,
a
I'm
pack
so
of us.
jealous of that.
Dude, when we went to UT, there was like 20 of us or something like that.
Really?
We rolled deep. Poor
Damn.
Zoroastrians, yeah.
Dude, that's cool. Like, I'm
It was a
Irish,
really- it was a
you
really
know,
cool
like,
upbringing.
fuck, man. I want that tribe feeling.
That's why I'm telling
community.
everyone 2023
Yeah.
have kids. We all live near each other. Then our kids can all play with each other. So it's
Yeah.
really cool because I had a group of friends that were all around my age that I'm still friends with to this day. We're all still very close.
Mm.
And we grew up, and if we wanted to go out till 6 in the morning, our parents didn't care because they knew we were with each other.
right.
Yeah. So
Dude, we
all
need
the
to get
guys, all the
back to
girls
that
could all go out.
village
Yeah.
feel, right?
Agreed.
Like, dude. Okay, we need to wrap it up. I'm about to get real.
That's good.
Hey,
Yeah. Huh, what real
I
were
think
you-
a lot of Americans don't have that.
I think community people need
No.
more of it.
I really want that. So a few
Little
years
tribe.
ago, I went to final story for me, and then you guys
No,
take
dude.
it from me.
Sure, man.
I went to the Amazon with my same homie that I got tied up with the Honduran on underwear extorting military. Yeah. We went in the middle of the Amazon, like a day's travel up. We went and stayed with these like tribes, right? And like just hanging out with them was like a different vibe. It was just like obviously, right? Like, but like seeing how they interact and the low stress. And granted, you know, they have issues. They don't have like modern healthcare and like all the things that we take for granted. But like I'm jealous of that tribal village feel. You know, like we live in this building. I don't know 99% of these fuckers, right? And they don't care about me. It's like we don't have that village vibe. I want that back, dude. Like that's what
Well, you have
we
to
were
have a common connection, and usually that used to be just race. Like, that's what it is. Like, if you're an Asian and you moved to Houston, you moved to like the Asian area, and you kind of had that. Like, I look like you. We could talk the same language. You
Yeah.
kind of had that, and now it's just like a little bit drifting off. So you don't have like this common tire. Whereas, like, if you go to a synagogue or whatever, it's like they're all Jewish.
It's so funny. I'm doing some of this online dating, and if it's like a normal person, but if they're a Jew, I'm like, I know your
There's
mom.
a common connection.
I see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's nice.
There's
actually.
something interesting about
So how
that.
do you create that?
Well, see,
It's like other
so
Bitcoiners.
No, I mean, no.
Well,
honestly, it could be Bitcoin.
No. So like for me, like it's not race. I grew up in the military, so like my best friend when I was 5 was black. I didn't know racism and all this shit till high school. Till I was like, man, these
Is
American
that when you
kids.
unfriended him? What happened to him?
You're the racist.
No, like I lived in Iceland. I lived in Korea. Like I bopped around every 2 years, right? But I was always on military bases where it was like it didn't matter if you were white, black.
But you had
Latino.
military.
Right?
That
No,
was the
and
common
that was
thread.
the thing. It was weird because it was like we all had the same socioeconomic situation. It didn't matter. Like your dad's a captain or whatever. Like you're all in the same boat. And then when I went to high school in Florida, it was very different. It was a public school, and it was like, oh man, you had like different races, hang out with different people. It was weird. I want to get away from that.
I think it's kind of interesting to be an adult because we get to choose. Right? Like I was just thinking about being a kid and like who we were around versus now it's like you can choose who you're gonna associate with.
But fast forward to when you have a family, the people you're going to hang out with are the ones that have kids roughly your same age.
True.
That's who it's going to be. That's what I'm trying to tell everyone. 2023.
So are we
roughly.
all gonna like do it on the same month or?
We're gonna
Yeah,
hold hands
same
while
day.
we do it.
We have to find someone to do it with first.
Yeah, we need
we
to
gotta- we got to figure that out first.
For all the dudes watching. I mean,
Oh man, we're gonna have to delete this live. Guys, any
no one's
final
gonna care.
things you want to say before we?
this is great. I was taking a moment to myself, just like how cool this is.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah, man, it was just great. Like
Hanging out
I'm
with the
glad I'm getting
homies.
to know you better and
Yeah,
playing
man.
pickleball.
I will
and-
say, Austin.
Thanks for coming over.
Austin's on
Yeah.
the kind of the up and up right now.
Austin,
like
is
we
Austin
keep,
Bitcoin?
dude, if we keep shit going and keep the city clean and safe, this place has a long way to go. It's really interesting in the last couple months, especially during pandemic.
Yeah.
kind of twisted the arm of the nation. It's like moved to different places, and it's like it sounds like a lot of them are moving here.
What you told me this on your birthday night about you used to go to SF because you have a bunch of friends out there.
That was
But
where all the big
what
people
changed?
were. They're all here now.
Yeah.
They're all here. Okay, first of all, I stopped going there because it was a big old shithole. That's why I stopped going there. I was paying so much money to live across the street from Uber and Twitter, and it felt like a war zone outside of my door. And I was just like, I can't mentally just take this kind of craziness. Like, they're not enforcing the law here.
Yeah.
So that. But then all those people I used to go visit, they're all here now. They're all here.
It's wild.
Would you? Okay, here's a question I wrote down in my diary. Would you rather, for all of you guys, have a $15,000 Rolex, $15,000 cash, or 1 Bitcoin as an investment?
At $15,000?
But I mean, Bitcoin's
whatever.
higher.
Okay, whatever it is. What's the Bitcoin price right now?
18.
I'm curious your guys' opinion.
1,997.
As an investment over the next 10 years, I can either give you, let's just keep it 19 to keep it simple. I can give you a $19,000 Rolex, I can give you $19,000 cash, or I can give you 1 Bitcoin valued at $19,000 for the next 10 years.
In the chat, answer that.
I'd say that's going to be Bitcoin, right?
No, I think it's a really interesting
Wait,
question.
so USD?
Yes, so I can either give you 19,000
Rolex or
cash,
Bitcoin?
a $19,000 value of a Rolex, whatever $19,000 would get you, or 1 Bitcoin. What do
Okay,
you-
so cash
over the-
is out because cash obviously goes up at a 2% interest
No, but you can
rate
take the
and
cash and go do anything you want with it.
It goes down at 2%.
No, but you can
so-
take the cash and go do anything.
Oh, got it. Well, then you could just technically buy Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
or Rolex
I
with
guess
it.
at that point, it depends on your hold time. Because if
10
it's
years,
like.
10 years.
Oh, minimum 10
So
years.
you can either get cash, crypto, or a Rolex, and you have 10 years to make as much money as possible.
I mean, like, where's the question? Because.
Yeah, I think
Like.
in those sense, it's Bitcoin.
Is
right?
it? I don't know. I was in the shower. I was like, that was a shower thought.
I mean, dude, that's a great thought. Let me mix up the asset classes a little bit. Let's say fiat's gone. Let's say gold, land in.
Austin. Do Austin.
Well, so that's
Just
kind of
a-
unfair
just
because
outside of Austin.
just outside of Austin or Bitcoin, because gold you can make a case that it's scarce, but
interesting.
it's not finite.
That's
We
interesting.
don't know how much gold there is. Land, we know how much land there
it's
is.
fixed. Yeah.
And Bitcoin, we know how much there is.
Should I buy more Bitcoin right now?
Wait,
Right now,
but with Bitcoin,
if you can get it through 19,000, you should.
wait. But okay. Side note.
Yeah.
Bitcoin. In 10 years, there might be other chains, other cryptos, and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, sure, there's only so much Bitcoin, but there's also a lot of this other thing or this other chain of Bitcoin or something.
It's the thing. It's almost like you're locked up in Bitcoin for 10 years, and like anything could happen. There is risk there. There's.
What about like lakeside property near Austin? There's only so much water, only so much lake.
I mean, I would definitely take that.
Oh, so it's interesting. Dude, the audience is interesting. So your wife wants you to die so she can have all your money. So okay, it's actually more mixed. Some people want the cash, some people want the Bitcoin. No one wants the land. But I think what you made an observation on I thought was really interesting is about fixed assets
Yeah.
versus like some things there's not a cap on.
Yeah, like U.S. dollars are out. Like we are literally in our lifetime. I have a prediction. We are going to see the end of the dollar as we know it.
That's a very good call.
It's not going to be the world reserve currency. It's not going to be what we think it is. That's easy to predict at this point.
How much? Yeah, I mean, how much cash have you used this week? In your how much actual cash did you distribute or receive this week?
Like physical cash or
Yeah.
USD?
Cash.
Like cash, zero. Like nobody works in
Like bills?
Yeah.
like bills, right?
None. I don't know if I have any.
That's interesting. Oh, that's kind of wild.
No, I pay with my phone.
That's why
everywhere,
I'm
yeah.
annoyed with Asia right now. Is like it's either
Hey, Kevin. Earmuff, dude. Earmuff.
He's gonna click end on this live stream.
yeah.
He's playing League of Legends over there.
He is a big gamer. That's why I'm annoyed with Asia is because it's either cash or it's fucking Alipay. It's like even in Thailand, you see like these Alipay signs, and I'm like, no, that's the wrong direction. You need the B, dude. You don't want Chinese
so B needs
centralized
to get
shit.
its goddamn act together and be as good as Alipay. Because I don't know, have you used Alipay? Because it's awesome. It is so.
Get out of my house right
It
now.
is so fast. When
Yeah.
Bitcoin becomes that great, yeah, that's why like when people say, "Oh, it's more of a store of wealth," I've done the test between different like
Yeah.
currency. I was just like, well, those other ones seem a lot more appealing to use.
Right.
Like I want to be able to transfer you $3 to share the beer or split an Uber, but I can't really do that with Bitcoin.
No,
right?
Venmo's way better for that, or PayPal, or
Venmo, PayPal,
Apple
Bitcoin
Pay.
Cash. That's
Haven't you
annoy half
guys
the
heard that
audience.
PayPal has Bitcoin now.
That's true. But the cool part is I think it will adapt.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, this is like, you guys are both like early adopters in the internet and digital marketing and all this, right? Like you guys see where this is
super
headed.
parallel to when we were very young and we're using the internet. It used to be like, remember 1990s era? They were talking about like e-commerce and buying shirts online and crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was so hard to give your credit card info. Keeping it safe wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
Keep it safe and then get your stuff. There were so many friction points on that, and now all that's just gone away. Like ordering something on Amazon, you don't think about your credit card at all.
Yeah.
You don't think about it being unsafe. And you don't even think about it arriving. It just happens. I think we'll eventually get there with something like Bitcoin, crypto, or something like that. But we're not totally there yet.
For sure.
Like right now, it costs an ass ton of money to give you $100. And it's slow. It takes 20 minutes for all 6 of the transactions to go through.
And that's why it's profitable as an investment. Is because of the problems.
Dude,
once it's
That's
easy
insane.
and it's fucking
That's
like
insane.
accepted, it's like there's no more money to make. Like,
Were you the one that told me that the way, I don't know much about the Grant Cardone character, but he was talking about real estate. He only buys it in very liberal cities because they have stupid policies.
oh
And so,
shit.
Yeah, so very conservative cities allow you, like Houston, allow you to build anywhere you want. So housing never gets that expensive.
Yeah.
Whereas liberal cities have these dumb policies where they restrict it. So therefore, if you buy a house, it keeps going up.
Yeah.
I was like, that's actually a really smart idea. You're playing in an area where it's like kind of fucked up.
One thing you just kind of, I've never thought of this before, is how much does the dollar fluctuate?
Compared to what?
I mean, the dollar compared to like other currencies, or the dollar like buying and selling it.
Yeah, so I mean, we can pull up a forex
Not,
thing.
Well, but not much. The whole point is not much. The dollar
Right.
is the dollar.
Yeah. I mean,
But
it's,
I think
it's
that-
very stable.
But if you live in Zimbabwe, your dollar like.
But I think my
sucks.
point was like similar to Bitcoin. Like in the beginning, it was probably very variant. Like when America, I'm reading Ben Franklin's book. It's like when America became independent from Britain, from France, and all this shit. The variance was crazy, and just what you said was
Yeah.
really fascinating. Which is like when it's stable, when people aren't like, oh, I don't understand it. When the fees are low, it's going to be more like the opportunity is gone.
Oh, very interesting. When you're looking at it from Ben Franklin's point of view, that's a really good point.
Yeah, well,
interesting.
It's kind of what you were saying about the dollar. That was cool.
It
Yeah,
used to be fragmented. Different states had different currencies back then.
we had the greenbacks. Yeah, it like rolled up, right?
Yeah.
So I think within our lifetime, we're gonna see a global currency backed by
Do you think digital
Math.
real estate? What would be the next thing after Bitcoin? It might be too crazy, but
Not go crazy.
like, what's the next thing that's going to be super volatile? Let's say Bitcoin gets its shit together. Everyone starts using it. In 10 years, obviously, you use crypto to trade between people and stuff, right? What's the next thing? Is it like
I don't know if they're-
virtual real estate in Oculus or some crap?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
I mean, right now there's Decentraland, there's NFTs, which you guys should take a fucking hard look at.
NFT, what's that?
Non-fungible tokens. So what that means, like, so you have a dollar, right? Say you have a dollar, I have a dollar. We can mash the dollars up on the table, and then you take one, I take one. There's no difference. But like, say we put these 2 whiskey bottles, and we mix them up, and I take this one, you take this one. They're non-fungible. They're different, right? Each one is unique. Right now we have domain names. So like there's the decentralized web. So I have like chrisdunn.crypto is my decentralized domain name. The government can't take that down. You guys could have your own domain names that are decentralized. Those are non-fungible tokens, meaning you control the access to the token that represents that thing. Now we're getting weird stuff like non-fungible art, like digital art, which is kind of weird and kind of,
That's the point of the question.
Yeah.
What's the weird shit
It's, you
now?
know what's
Yeah.
funny? It's the stuff that I cringe. And I'm like, that's what crypto was 10 years ago.
Yes.
Because the store.
Dude, even like 2013, crypto was a weird concept.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the stuff that sounds ridiculous today.
Facebook sounded weird to everyone.
Which,
Why
yeah,
would
yeah.
you give your information to
yeah.
someone? How could you?
YouTube.
You giving your credit card to a stranger? That was really
Yeah.
conversations we had not that long
dude,
ago.
Marty, one of my best friends, his dad didn't do online banking for many years. He's like, I don't trust it. And now, someone be like, I mean, you go to the bank, you don't.
Now
just
it's
go
like better to do it on your phone than like
Yeah.
go to a
Exactly.
bank.
But
Seems so
but
stupid,
now that's
yeah.
normal. So
Yeah.
it's just interesting. I try to not. I got to be better about just kind of being open to that.
Think what is stupid today that's going to be commonplace 10 years from now? That's where you make a fuck ton of money.
That's why I always say, like, socially, whatever all the woo-woo people do in 20 years will be normal. Remember, like, organic foods? That was a joke a long time ago.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, organic food. What the fuck is this guy talking about? And now it's like, Walmart has organic food.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to think about. I think there's some stuff in VR. We both have Oculus sets. We went through a phase where we're playing them all the time. I think there's something there where I'm just like, okay, I pay a ton of money to buy like Macs and stuff like that like show screens. But in the VR world, I can make the screen instantly go to gigantic size, or I can live in the screen. I can zoom in on 1 pixel. I can zoom out. I can do all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah.
I can change the landscape where I live. I think something's going to happen there. I don't know what, but that's clearly going to be a thing.
100%. And like, have you guys seen what's happening with Pokemon cards? They're making a comeback. People are spending stupid money on them. Imagine digital Pokemon cards like this stuff where it's provably scarce through the blockchain. Like that's a thing that's debatable too. Like some people are bullish and bearish, whatever. I'm just saying that's a use case of this stuff.
$19,000 Bitcoin, cash, or Pokemon cards.
Yo.
Or staying single the rest of your life. I had so many baseball cards when I was a kid, man. I made my dad waste so much money. And then a few years ago, I like tried to sell them all and it was worth nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just paper.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the thing too. Is like when you make these investments or you make bets on things, you got to say, what's the probability this goes to zero?
Well,
right?
it's based on a market. Like the market solves everything. It's like there's just no demand for them. Back then they were the shit, but now it's just like who wants that?
Yeah.
Who wants paper?
Yep.
All right.
Whew, man, we've been going for a long time. Thank you
Hells
guys
yes.
so much for
Thank
fucking
you.
brain dumping.
Yeah.
Kevin,
Did we drink
thank you,
half a bottle?
audience. Yeah, we killed it.
Well, we drank half
And
of this and some of that and
To be
some
fair,
of that.
I drank way
Dope.
less. I think y'all finished off at least a whole other glass than me.
Yeah, here,
Behind.
have some more.
You're just glad you didn't get a tattoo today.
Oh man, are we still in the safe? Let's see. That got really close. I thought I was
That's
like
20
definitely
bucks
doing
away.
it.
no, that was it's different. Which
No, it was.
Oh,
at,
yeah.
It was
How
at
close did it get?
1880.
Woo!
1980?
Dude, look how close that got.
It was $20 away or something like that. What was the high price?
Wow.
The high was 18,980. To be fair, let me check the other exchanges because it could have hit.
By the way, I would like to do a podcast where we all learn. We bring in an expert and
Yeah.
we learn how to write a smart contract ourselves, and then we make a bet that we can do, and it automatically pays out.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that. Out of curiosity, just to learn the language and everything.
Oh yeah, that's easy. We could do that
You can?
for sure.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like we make a quick bet, like $20 worth of Bitcoin or something like that, and then we like rock paper scissors, and it automatically pays out based on that smart contract.
Well, so yeah, that's where things get weird is when you connect the real world with
No, it won't
blockchain
be.
tech.
It would be something like on like a cell in an Excel thing.
Yeah.
is changed, and yeah, it goes through Zapier and then into.
But then you got to
chain.
question what caused that event. That's where like the
So I would love to learn about that.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
fun.
we should definitely bring somebody in that knows the tech side of blockchain stuff better than I can
Probably an
articulate.
Indian or an Asian.
Hey,
All right.
guys, thank you so much for joining us. Kevin, thanks for doing the switching.
Thank you.
Thank you guys all
Thank you for
for.
hosting us.
Travis asked, "What are the top three
no, I got-
2021 goals?" We got to answer this. Your top goal for the next year, real quick.
I'm trying to get to 100,000 YouTube subscribers. He's gonna hit it this month.
Yeah. Here, let's pull.
If you guys
them
are
up.
not on youtube.com/okdork, subscribe. But let's get Neville to-
YouTube.com/copywriting with a K.
Oh.
That still hasn't switched over.
It'll switch over.
Neville Medhora YouTube. Type that in.
You should probably switch it to Neville Medhora.
I can't even type right now. All right. So yeah,
Dude,
go subscribe to this
You're going pretty
dude.
fast though.
Hey, yeah, and I didn't spend any money on doing it. Well, I guess sort of. I have people helping, but once you
this
get past
Noah
100,000,
Kagan?
I feel like it's gonna kind of like snowball a little bit.
I think there's definitely
We get one
momentum.
of those things?
I hope so, man. I'm working hard
Yes.
on it. Anyway, so that Neville wants to get 100,000.
or onlyfans.com/Neville. I'm just kidding.
Actually, I do have onlyfans.com /Noah Kagan.
Really?
Yeah.
Just in case you
And
want
you
to get
have
in the
only
porn
0
business.
fans.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but hey, go subscribe to Neville Medhora.
Yes. Guys, thank you all so much for
Thank you.
joining.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you
Fun
to
times, man.
Noah and Neville.
Whoop.
Love you guys.
Love you guys too.
All right, love you guys.
All right. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Take care, guys.
That was fun. Good time.